Well, hey everybody, I'm Nick and welcome to episode 6 of Sci-Finatics Live for 2025. And look at this joker I've got next to me.
You're in my studio.
You're in my studio. This is my studio.
No.
David is along with me in person this time, as opposed to on his own webcam in his house.
In better quality.
And as always, we have a great panel of Star Trek experts to chat everything that's going on in the world of Star Trek. We've got Mike from the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Welcome, Mike. He's been on the show many times.
Hello, Nick. Hello, matey. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm doing well. You doing all right?
I'm doing all right, yeah.
And we also have Jay. Jay's on the show as well. Jay from Tachyon Pulse Podcast. Welcome, Jay.
How do you guys? Yuri?
We're doing pretty well.
Doing good.
Thanks for filling in too, Jay, at the last minute, because we did have another guest. I didn't have another guest booked on the show today, but unfortunately, Darren has come down with a very serious case of the flu, and he is in fact in hospital on fluids right now. So, my best wishes go out to Darren. I hope you're doing well, mate, and all the best for your speedy recovery. And thank you, Jay, for filling in at the last minute for me.
It says a lot about my life that on a Saturday you give me 2 hours notice. I went, yeah, no problem. All going on.
So today we're going to talk about the last 3 episodes of Strange New Worlds, aren't we, David? So we're going to talk about episodes 8, 9, and 10 of season 3. We're going to go through those episodes and give our general impressions about what we thought of those. And then after we've done that, we're going to have just a general chat, aren't we?
Bit of a season roundup.
Yep.
What we liked, what we didn't like, what we absolutely hated.
Or what we absolutely loved.
Yes.
So we're getting all of that into all that today, and maybe also some speculative stuff about where we think the show might go, in what directions for season 4 as well.
Correct. Yeah.
So let's get started. Obviously, our 8th episode of the season was our 4.5 Vulcans episode, which was kind of a bit of a quirky episode where obviously 4 of our crew members get transformed into Vulcans for the duration of the episode. What was because this was an interesting episode. It had some funny bits in it. I was kind of laughing out loud in some moments, but I could also kind of look at it from outside myself and sort of go, well, this is fun and I'm laughing, but it's also a bit silly as well. It sort of just, for me, it kind of rode the fence quite a lot in the episode in terms of how much of this am I going with and how much is just a bit too wacky and a bit too crazy. David, do you want to start us off? What your thoughts were on 4.5 Vulcans?
Yeah, look, I think this episode was probably a bit. Some people really liked it. Some people didn't like it so much. I actually enjoyed it. In terms of being an oddball episode, I think it felt very good to me. Sort of similar to like previous ones with Spock, like Spock and Mock. I think we had, and things like charades.
Yeah.
It was good to see each of the 4 main actors sort of. Well, put a bit of shit on Spock, some people
workplace bullying, I think you could call it.
Absolutely. But yeah, I did like that scene. We'd seen it before in the preview where they're sort of walking down the corridor with the heavy music going. But I thought it was good to see the main characters sort of accentuate different personalities in these Vulcan personas. Seeing Pike's hair go even higher, and I do notice these things.
Yes.
And even sort of going through with with her, I guess, Khan-esque, what's it?
Augment.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that augmented sort of personality, and she's wanting to bloody invade just about the whole Alpha Quadrant. But also even seeing Una, a different side to Una with what was it, Greg or Gary or
Doug.
It was something.
Doug the Vulcan.
Doug the Vulcan. Yeah. So it was quite interesting from that respect. So I did enjoy it. It was on my fence line, I guess I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, what did you think?
I did like aspects of it. This series is always strange because it's like the writers just sort of like throw things at the wall for each episode and hope it sticks and hope for the best. And they're always sort of trying things. I mean, I do respect that they're trying to do original content within the Star Trek universe, which I think is always good. But some of the wacky aspects of the actual episodes don't work fully for me. I think one of my aspects which I didn't like about the episode was the way that they just turned into Vulcans, like very, very straightforward. And this is a whole alien race. I mean, they would have like green blood and different internal organs, and they're like, okay, you're a Vulcan. Oh, no, we can't turn you back. And I kind of like I like a bit more kind of a proper reason how they're changed rather than that sort of aspect. I like the actors. I thought they all yeah. I think
I get the fact that the serum could turn them into Vulcans, but the fact that it gave them new hairstyles as well, I thought was.
Well, this is kind of like the aspect of the show where Star Trek does do weird things in all of its incarnations from time to time, but it's one of those episodes where I think, well, look, okay, it's all right, but I don't know whether like I'd want to see it again, kind of thing. It's like as a Star Trek fan,
one and done. You reckon? I'll watch it and have it out while. Bypass it
like,
next time.
Like lots of old episodes of the various series, I could watch again and again and again, but I can't see myself thinking, "Oh, I've got to see 4.5 Vulcans again." It was so good with the hair, and it's all right. It was an okay episode.
Jay, what did you think?
A bit of a love-hate with this season, if I'm honest, but with this episode, because I was with you, some parts of this were so funny and they were really good, and I enjoyed. But then. It's not just that I didn't understand how the serum changed them. How did they then learn how to become Vulcans? Because Vulcans aren't born that way. They're born quite violent and aggressive. I know they very quickly just sort of said...
It's drummed into them from birth, yeah.
Well, yeah, but the serum was kind of based on Spock's perceptions, and there was sort of genetic memory in there that made them Vulcans. But then it would have made them more like Spock, whereas these Vulcans are supposed to be like uber...
More pure Vulcan, yeah.
They're more like the Vulcans we saw in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, though, where they were quite bullies, because they're knobs. They're not
knob Vulcans.
But there are a few. So the thing with Lan that they said she was that way because she was an augment. Why didn't they just make her a Romulan? I would have
we thought she was.
Well, that's what they kind of did as a misdirect. They had that. Pike and her talked very briefly about Romulans in the time travel capacity, and that was, I guess, just thrown in there as a bit of a misdirect. But as soon as Laan started talking about being more aggressive and everything, the first thing I thought of was, it's her augment DNA from Khan. Like she's wanting to take over the galaxy, That was immediately
a nice Easter egg for us. I think that would have been like, Romulan, perfect, because of the Romulans and Vulcans. So yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah,
this was the episode where we saw the dolphins, wasn't it, as well, in the Bible?
Yes,
because they're in the pond and
they had the whole cetacean ops thing.
Which I like. But I'm not sure they put that right next to engineering. I'm not sure we put that right next to the warp core, personally. I think that was a design flaw. Let's have a massive body of water. A massive antimatter reactor.
But the Enterprise in the Kelvin universe was like a brewery, wasn't
it? Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
The Starship runs on lager,
Yeah, that's all right. That's not bad.
Bring on the beers.
Yes.
It's just another example for me, though, of like Star Trek Strange New Worlds is a lot more of it looks really nice than it actually has sort of any substance to it. That didn't quite make sense, but it looked beautiful. But yeah, it didn't really make sense. So the whole thing, and the number one and Doug thing, I know that was supposed to be funny, but I just found it quite creepy. And a little bit hard to watch.
On which side, number one or Doug?
Well, yeah, both. I just thought the whole thing was just a bit cringy.
It's a bit odd, wasn't it?
I kind of thought that whole dynamic between because we had so much wackiness going on between all the Vulcans, I kind of thought, well, in your typical comedy routine or whatever, you've got your straight character and you've got your wacky character or whatever, and they play off each other, But it was, I kind of almost felt like because we had all of the Vulcans, particularly Pike, being the quirky aspect of the episode, did we need Una to go wacky as well and have this relationship with Doug? It kind of almost felt like, do we need this as well? It's sort of
too much, too much in one sort of like too many aspects in the actual story, which weren't always needed. as you say,
There's
it was a
quite
bit
a lot
like,
in Kurtzman Trek, isn't it? That makes you go, why? Why
Yeah.
did they do that? And not
Okay.
just because they did it. I don't quite understand why they bothered, because it just takes something away. For me, it just made it slightly more cringy.
Yeah.
I will say, though, Ethan Peck in this was brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the great man.
Yes.
Ethan Peck is really good. He's a very good actor in this series, and I think he's
He is.
his version of Spock has really got his own unique kind of vibe, and I think he's done it very, very well. Very well casting actually with him.
Yeah, you're very well cast.
Yeah.
All the cast.
Yeah, I almost my favorite almost part of the episode with him in it was the bit at the end when he's telling Doug. Yeah, when he's telling Doug about all of the human quirks, and he's saying, pull my finger, and then flatulence, and and what else was he doing? He was talking about humans eat a lot of meat and a lot of cheese, and what was the other ones he was carrying on? Yeah, I almost feel. Did you guys feel like that?
It's like a sitcom.
Yeah. Did you feel like that was all scripted, or you felt there was maybe a bit of ad-libbing going on there?
I think
It could have been.
Because I think
I don't know.
because Patton Oswalt's obviously a great comedian.
Yeah.
I was wondering whether they might
more in Star Trek as a general nowadays. Like Braga Trek, I've seen them talk about this before, haven't they? That before it was you follow the lines word for word and that's it. But in Strange Worlds and things, they do allow the actors to play with things a little bit more.
Ad-lib and stuff, yeah.
I heard this had a lot of improv in it, and there was a very long gag reel as well, apparently. So
okay,
yeah. Do they ever release gag reels? They don't do that. You never see sort of like.
Oh, sometimes when they release it on DVD, on disc.
Oh, you still get it on DVD. Yeah.
Okay. I put the gag reel on the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever that comes out.
Should be on YouTube, shouldn't they? When a new series is about to come out, put the gag reel on and get a bit of interest.
Yeah.
I would have thought it'd be good. Yeah. Especially as a comedy now.
So why not?
Yeah.
The first episode on YouTube to try and get some excitement, didn't they? So why not do gag reels and stuff? And fans, we'd love that as well because we see a bit more of the actors.
Yeah, I love bloopers. So I'm always interested to see what they're doing. You know what I mean? It was like with the Next Generation, Rick Berman was very anti-bloopers. And it was only when they remastered the Next Generation, when they released it on Blu-ray, that the bloopers from the first were actually shown, and actually you could see them. He was not a fan of bloopers, apparently.
I think it kind of endears the cast to you more by seeing them. I think
they're enjoying having fun.
You appreciate the process, and you appreciate the fact that they're having fun. And if anything, I think it makes you feel a little bit like here's a little bit of a secret thing. We should, only special people get to see what goes on behind the scenes kind of thing. So, I think it's always a bit of a treat.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Hey, what did you guys think of the Beto and Uhura sort of lapdog situation? So I think Beto became Uhura's little Vulcan lapdog for most of the episode.
Yeah, that's right.
How did you guys sort of react to that?
It was all right. It was kind of just sort of like another one of the multi sort of story elements of the episode. It was quite funny. I can't even remember how it ended in the end. They sort of like, how did it end with those two? I can't remember. You remember?
I think she apologized to him for I don't know, for brainwashing him or whatever.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah.
But I mean, my thought on this was more so. Hang on, this guy was just in the last episode. He was on the ship basically trying to make Starfleet look bad, doing a bit of a hatchet job on the crew, trying to trick them into like spilling the beans on what they hate about Starfleet with some, hatchet job expose on them. And then he's just, welcome. He's welcomed back on the ship and he's having dinner parties with them. It's like, this guy should be like, Pike should say, dude, you're banned from my ship. You're not coming back on again.
You're a Judas.
Yeah.
If he didn't have better job to do the doc, might have been. But the documentary he did was so bad, they just didn't care.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Right one.
Yeah, but that was the first time that Star Trek's ever done a documentary one, hasn't it? As far as I know. I know that Stargate did one, and Jay would know this, so they did a two-part.
Battlestar Galactica did one, Stargate did one. I think there was an episode of Babylon 5 where the ISN or whatever it was had a crew going around the station doing a piece. So there's a lot of shows that have done,
but not Star
documentary.
Trek, Yeah.
Jake did some stuff on DS9, but it was in his reporter sort of like
guys,
I guess. Yeah.
So,
Not
Jay,
actually
did you say there's a Next Generation did one? Which one did they do?
No, I was trying to think of one, but I thought Data's Day was maybe the closest.
But he was just
something like that, but it wasn't a interview thing, was it? But
he was doing like a daily log, wasn't he, to his commander kind of thing, the one that wanted to put him apart, and I can't remember his character's name.
Babylon 5's the closest. Like you said, ISN doing it. That was
because that was a whole news crew from ISN or whatever. Basically doing a day in the life kind of follow around.
And now
they had a film crew on the Enterprise B as well in Generations. They were filming the launch of the Enterprise B.
That's right. And did you notice? That the technology of the cameras in Generations was less advanced?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, like they had kind of headbands with cameras on them.
Yes.
So this is like, because how far that would have been another? Because when was the Generations? Because it would have been
23.
When was the Enterprise B launched?
Was it?
That would have been
2293, wasn't it? 2293.
So that would have been a good 20 years or something after Strange New Worlds or something.
Yeah.
And yet the Beto's flying his little fancy drone around the place, with the AI software that detects changes in voice and everything, and the poor cameraman on the Enterprise B just got little webcams on their headgear.
It was a keynote from Stargate Universe. Which is part of Stargate Universe, these keynote things that used to fly around. It's just that. But yeah.
I will say one thing I've noticed about this series, which is odd. I've been rewatching the Orville, which started off as a blatant comedy and became more of a sort of serious, sort of like a very Star Trek-esque series. This series is it's like going the opposite direction. It started off as more of a proper Star Trek series, and it's becoming more like the Star Trek's version of the Orville in those early episodes. And I just think it's a bit odd the way it's going. Yeah,
there's there's so much comedy in like this episode with moments like this with Pike, deflating laundry hampers and whatnot. And it's you're right. I think, and this is part of the problem with having these short 10 episode seasons, is the writers and the producers are going, oh, we've only got 10, so let's just do big swings all the time.
That's right, all the time.
But the problem with doing big swings all the time is, therefore, all of your episodes are really out there, and yes, sometimes they can hit a home run, but sometimes they strike out,
Yes.
and it's really risky. I think you get away with it. Back in the days of TNG and DS9, you get away with a 24 or 26 episode season, have a couple of quirky ones thrown in there,
couple of franky ones or something. Yeah.
But with only 10 episodes, it's so risky to do that.
But how would you sort of compare it with, say, some of the other, I guess, humorous episodes of the season? Because you had like Wedding Bell Blues, that was a bit of a humorous one with Trelane. There was also the holodeck one. Was that more of a humorous?
I didn't mind I didn't mind the Trelane thing, because we've had plenty of episodes of Star Trek before where you've had a quirky character come into the mix, like your Harry Mudd or Q or and that's fine. I think to do that, we got the external character coming in, but it's an extra level of serious quirk when you're transforming characters into weirdo Vulcans or whatever.
I think it's fine.
Technical term for weirdo Vulcan.
It's fine.
Sorry, Jay, go on.
It's fine to have 2 or 3 or even 4 sort of quirky, silly episodes in a 24 episode run. I'm not sure when you've only got 10 and it's supposed to be sci-fi, and you're thinking, where's the Star Trek in this? I think there's got 3, maybe 4 episodes that you can go, oh yeah, that's Star Trek. The rest of them, you're like, well, that's a zombie movie. That's a parody. That's a straight
horror movie.
Let's just do a quick count. How many episodes this season would you guys say were your typical, historically, Star Trek trope based episodes?
Let's have a look. So
4 out of 10.
1.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
Is
Gemini.
Through the Lens of Time is.
Yep.
Terrarian is. And
Yes.
New Civilization is. Other than
yes.
that,
Okay. So
only
less
4
than
out of 10.
so less than 50% of the episodes in the season. I'd also potentially include Wedding Bell Blues in that, because even though it was quirky, it is along the lines of your Harry Mudd or your Q or
if they hadn't remade the end of Gothos, I mean, straight up they copied the end of the Spire of Gothos.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I agree with you. But that whole last 2 minutes just made me go, no, I'm sorry, I'm ejecting from my list.
But still, even if you're generous and you say that there's 5 episodes out of a season of 10 that tick the box, that's still only 50% of your season. That's still half of your season. That's pushing the boundaries.
Aren't the comedy episodes increasing per season? Because I think in the first season it was only like 2, and then last season there was about 3. So it's like is it creeping up? Is what I'm going on about the fact that it's becoming more comedy based than sci-fi exploration, which is what I
do wonder if the popularity within the fan base of Those Other Scientists, because it's so popular, has made them maybe try to chase that a little bit more. But I actually just think it's that whole thing of them saying, Akiva Goldsman or whatever, saying we're going to twist genres here, and we're going to. Or was it Anson Mount said Star Trek's a genre on its own now? Because, no, it isn't. It's supposed to be sci-fi. Stop it.
Yeah.
They're just letting them run riot with it. It's like.
Can it also go on, Jay? Go on. Sorry.
Well, it's like Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Who's just had 200 episodes, or they're in their 7th season. And they're just going, let's try and have fun with it now, because we've And I'm like, no, you've had 20 episodes. You haven't.
Yes, we haven't even got the equivalent of a Berman era season yet.
No. Stargate did the 200th episode where they had puppets in it, and they did a Farscape twist, and they just had this mental episode,
and it was brilliant.
200th episode, they're allowed at that point. And for me, it's just a bit too much. 1 or 2 quirky episodes per season, perfect. 8 episodes of Star Trek, brilliant. They're not doing that, and it is a bit frustrating.
So cap it at 20% or 10%.
Yeah,
but I was
go nuts. Yeah.
I was wondering is it Tawny, the actress that was in Lower Decks, that
Tawny Newsome?
she was. Wasn't she trying to write a comedy sitcom Star Trek series? So would this be a way of testing the waters to see whether it would be popular, and then it might have progressed with the comedy?
Look, whether that ever sees the light of day or not, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's all kind of in development in a weird time in the Star Trek franchise, where you've got the ownership being handed over to Skydance and everything, and I kind of feel like I would be very surprised if that ever sees the light of day, to be honest.
It's they're pitching it to Paramount at the moment, basically.
Are they?
There's 4 or 5 stuff that's being pitched over at Skydance Paramount at the moment, and we'll just have to see. But they've got to make a decision over the contract and the future of Star Trek now, so they've got to see what
sort it out.
Indeed. The other thing that surprised me about the 4.5 Vulcans episode or whatever, and we seem to get a lot during the season. Obviously, again, we've got Kirk popping up in the episode as well, with that whole story with him and Scotty trying to dissuade La'an from taking over the galaxy.
Again.
I kind of almost felt this season
bit of shoehorning.
Well, it's sort of almost like just this is supposed to be Pike's Enterprise, but every second episode, I feel like Kirk's there, kind of. Hello, I'm here. I'm gonna be Captain soon. Let me, it's like stay in your box, Jim. Stay in your box and wait for Chris to have his go, and then we'll call you when it's your time.
Knocking on the door, like let me in, kind of thing.
In the season finale, they phone the Farragut asking for help, but they don't speak to the captain.
She was sitting there. She was in the chair in one scene, just like ignoring it. She was sitting there, and Kirk was talking away. I thought, I won't swear, but what the hell was she like doing in the background, kind of thing? Like, you know,
Kirk
that was
should
a
have
very
just gone,
bizarre thing.
oh, I'm sorry, the captain's washing her hair at the moment.
She owed Kirk a favour.
Yeah.
I think it was. It was
Tell you what, I'll make the decision for her because, you know,
Yeah.
the way this,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
it's like the poor captain. She's just getting, you know, like she's just. I think
She's
there was
doing
a
the
shot. Even,
Colonard. She's doing the Colonard
Yeah.
or something.
she was just sitting in the chair in the background, out of focus. You know.
Yeah, she didn't even get a word of dialogue. She just sat there like they could have just had a puppet sitting there. Imagine
So
having.
I mean,
Don't mention that.
Yeah,
Don't mention
yeah. We'll get to puppets. We'll get to puppets later on.
That's coming soon. I should have said
you know
that.
when you've got a new girlfriend and you start like leaving a toothbrush there and like, you know, you might leave
Yeah.
or you've given me a drawer. I think Kirk's probably got a drawer somewhere.
Oh, he wouldn't have a drawer. He'd have a whole. He'd
have a wardrobe.
He'd have a whole.
Walk-in robe.
He'd have a whole
I think,
quarters or something. He started moving his stuff in somewhere already, I reckon.
I wonder if Pike and Kirk are sharing the same quarters. You know what I mean?
No
Somebody
judgment.
turned up,
Well, hey, you know what I
They
mean?
timeshare it.
Yeah.
which was
Yeah,
it?
Well,
exactly.
hang on. This would explain why Kirk's quarters are so small in the original series, because he's just secretly, he's like a squatter. He's secretly moved into the Enterprise. There's some small quarters on one of the lower decks somewhere, and he's moved his furniture in and everything, and nobody knows he's done it. And then he's just,
Or maybe
and he just
they
keeps
segmented
popping
the
up.
room. They segmented Pike and Kirk's rooms. So it's half of the normal quarters, and he's on the right hand side, and with Kirk's on the left hand side or something.
Isn't this the episode where he turned up to see his brother and then they went, he's not here? I was like, I'm sorry, you're being transported from there. You didn't phone ahead.
Yes. You didn't. Surely, yeah.
Make plans,
Yeah, how hard it would it be just to send a space text message to Sam Kirk saying,
Bruv,
"Hey
you in?
Sam,
No,
we're just in the neighbourhood, and do you want me to? I'll stop in and say hi." And it's, "Oh, sorry,
He's not there.
He was mountain climbing or something, wasn't he? He'd gone.
Yeah, he was
hadn't
on
he
the
gone?
surface doing something. Oh, stupid.
I think
He's on a pub crawl, I reckon, probably.
Yeah, he'd gone mountain climbing or something, and
No,
that kind of struck me as a little odd.
Farragut's being fixed up
convenient.
locally. Is it? That's a coincidence. Is it just because you've been contracted to do so many episodes of Pig in Season? You've got to turn up.
Yes.
I'm contracted to be here. Oh my
They
God.
should just make him a series regular. He should just be in the opening titles from now on. It's sort of like as
He
it's
should be
Special
there.
guest star.
He shouldn't be in this at all.
I know.
Fourth
Pike was
season
only-
at the most.
Pike was only supposed to meet him once when he
Yes.
They
was
got around that.
It'll just become like Star Trek, meets Where's Wally or Where's Waldo or whatever, where he's just there in the background. He's just like popping his head up from behind a console somewhere or something and waving in the background, and you have to go, oh, there he is. There's Kirk in the background. He's hiding behind the warp core or something,
But so far he hasn't met Corby, because he's not meant to meet Corby until the original series episode. So they have actually been mindful of that aspect. They've been sort of
Okay,
like,
so they have tried
okay.
to hone in some of it. Yeah, okay.
They are trying to fudge through the lines.
Yeah, because let's face it, that they have definitely been doing a fair bit of like how finely can we walk the line of canon, before these events that we're getting into. It's like how much can you teeter on that fence before it topples over?
They've been doing a lot of teetering. Let's just put it that way. A lot of teetering, just like, and I mean, a lot of people are saying that they consider this like a different universe, rather than being in the original series canon. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it is getting harder and harder to see it as a
that's the
prequel
thing.
rather than
Yeah, I mean, in obviously the ninth episode where we got Terrarium, that was obviously one occasion where they definitely walked the line of canon there in terms of their first contact with the Metrons,
Metrons,
and and just getting around that. But it's okay. They said we're gonna wipe Ortegas's mind or whatever, so she has no memory of the Metrons, but she keeps her memories of the Gorn encounter or whatever. So, I mean, do you think this example was kind of? Do you think this was too much canon breaking, or do you think this was just riding that fence line?
Oh, but they keep
No.
doing it. They only just did it with Trelane about 8 episodes before, and they're doing it again. They keep sort of like having these people that we know in TOS, and they say, "Oh well, it's okay. You didn't see me, right?" kind of thing, and they sort of sneak away. And it's, just
He's
have some
behind
original
you.
characters. Yeah, just
Yeah.
stop it. Why do they keep doing these TOS characters? Just get some instead of Trelane, make him Elaine or something. Make it a girl, and then just have
Elaine.
new ideas. I don't know. I just get a bit annoyed with this constant kind of like regurgitating stuff and trying to shoehorn it in, and it's not working for me. I'm just getting on my nerves a bit, really.
It's
Sorry.
another example of why bring the Metrons into it? And that's the Metrons are a very impatient race that lives thousands and thousands of years, because 2 or 3 years this episode they do the whole thing again.
Make them
Mm.
the Tetrons. They're
Well,
the
that experiment.
Tetrons. They're the Metrons.
Or the Zetrons.
They're cousins, like Romulans and Vulcans or something. You met the Metrons, they're the Tetrons. They're the next planet down in the solar system. You know,
They didn't need to do that.
They're our next door neighbours. They're a bit
Yeah,
rowdy on weekends,
Yeah,
but
exactly,
you know, we give them a
we're
pass.
trying to
Just
avoid
chuck
them
him
at
in
the
the black
weekend.
hole.
Yeah, exactly.
If they'd have left the Metrons out of this episode, though, it wouldn't have changed anything. The episode could have been exactly the same.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do it, and that's what frustrates me sometimes with Kurtzman Trek is they didn't need to do that, but they did anyway.
Yeah.
If you just
That's it,
not
yeah.
done that,
I agree.
we wouldn't be irritated. If they with the Trelane episode, if they just hadn't have added that bit at the end, we wouldn't have anything. We'd have gone, oh, Q was there.
The episode still would have the story and everything still would have worked and everything.
But they
still
keep
would have
doing
told
it.
the-
They keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. It's just like getting on my nerves. I mean, God, you know.
Do they feel like they need to keep giving fan service, you know, to the historical fans? Because anybody who's if you're a fan who's watching Strange New Worlds and you haven't seen any Star Trek before, you don't need the Metrons in there. It's not going to change the episode for you.
No, it's for us. It's
But
for
it's
the
like-
old fans.
it's for our. Yeah, it's for I think if we don't get these you know member berries or whatever, we're going to tune out all of a sudden. You know.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's somebody sat in the corner who's just going something. This will annoy the original fans, and the writers go, oh, who's that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. If they're doing it as like Easter eggs, it's the stupidest thing, and they're not reading the room because Star Trek fans have been yelling at them for ages. You know, you keep stepping on canon. This isn't stepping on canon. This is running up and kicking canon in the balls. It's just
shoehorning it like it's like
it's not done for anyone. It's done because it's stupid. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah. No, I just agree. It's a shame that, you know, I mean, like I said, I mean, I do like Strange New Worlds, but it's just some of these ideas they do. I just think, what are they doing? But there you go.
Why do they do that?
Yeah,
don't need to do it. That's the point. They didn't need to do it.
No,
They
they
didn't
don't.
need to make the Enterprise look so different, but they did anyway.
And it's bigger.
They didn't
It's
make
bigger
the Enterprise
now. I mean,
much bigger, but they did anyway.
But yeah, they even put the actual size of the Enterprise in the previous episode. Now, of course, all the fans are saying, "Well, okay, so how is it going to get smaller when Kirk?" Oh, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of Enemy Mine? Oh, sorry, the Enemy.
Enemy Mine. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Dennis Quaid's great in that. Yeah, Dennis Quaid was great in that. Oh God.
I wish he'd karate chopped.
I mean, look, I thought it was a good episode. I mean, we obviously the fans have been asking for more Tegas. Everybody wanted an Ortega-centric episode.
Yeah, it's good.
I love her so much.
Yeah, she's a great character.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
But was there anything like it was another one of these moments this season where I kind of feel like like the writers in the writers' room are just kind of Googling or using Chat GPT or something, or what are sci-fi movies that I can steal from or whatever to make this episode, well,
I mean, you've got Alien as the Gorn. You've got obviously there's lots of elements from classic science fiction TV series and films which they're just sort of like making it, slightly adapting it, and I know that character. That's an alien, but it's a Gorn, but it's like I don't know. They're doing it more and more.
Do you know the one thing that annoys me about this is you remember like science fiction? we quite like science fiction generally?
Yes.
And
Yes.
but
Generally, yes. That's why we're all here, Jay.
That's why we're here. Yeah, yeah.
that word science. I think Kurtzman Trek finds that word science really irritating, because how are they breathing on that planet at all?
Well, it
'Cause
didn't
going
even seem like a
towards
planet to me. It seemed
It's
like an.
not-
It seemed. Well, okay. Firstly, it seemed more like an asteroid than a planet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I suppose I thought, okay, well, the Metrons have thrown them together in this test.
Maybe it's an artificial
Yeah.
atmosphere.
So they've created an atmosphere,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
then thrown the Gorn on the planet. They've thrown Ortegas on the planet. Right, ding ding. Let's see what happens. You know.
So I quite liked Ortega then to go, how am I breathing on this asteroid? Which is
Yes.
it's breathable. And also,
Sorted.
Because she
so
kept
close.
because she kept saying, "Oh, what's that sparkly light in the sky or whatever?"
Yeah.
All she needed to go is like, "Hang on, how am I?" Yeah, you're right, Jay. All she needed to go is, "What are you doing, sparkly light? I should not be able to breathe on this planet, yet I can."
Just acknowledge it.
Acknowledge it. Yeah.
How is this asteroid that close to that sun, and I'm not being blasted by X-ray radiation? So even if they say
Yeah,
the heat, because it's a blue
vaporized.
planet, which it still would be incredibly hot and would still vaporize them, but radiation, etc. She should, again, that would have been an interesting point to sort of go, we shouldn't be able to, we should be fried. Why aren't we? And that would have added bits to the mystery of it, but they just didn't, because they didn't think it through.
Oh,
Just
but the Gorn had a little shield bubble. The Gorn had a shield bubble that she just threw up when they needed to, protect themselves from the toxic storm clouds or whatever it was.
They watched they watched the first episode of Riddick, and they just went, and we'll do the arena, and then we'll just sort of smash them together. And that's all. It just reminded me of Riddick, or Pitch Black. Sorry, it reminded me of Pitch Black.
Oh yeah.
This episode reminds me of the Enterprise episode with Trip Tucker, where he's stranded on an alien planet with an alien and can't communicate.
Dawn, yes.
And even that episode, like the temperature was rising and they were going to die because he was, obviously the alien was reptile. He could actually deal with the heat more. He even had like an ongoing atmospherical conditions which are going to be putting pressure for them to find a way to escape. I mean, the thing is, science fiction has got a lot of stories. Yeah, that's the one. That's a nice one, Joe. Nick. But what I was trying to say is that there's only so many kind of stories that they can do, I suppose. But a story like this has been done quite a few times in the Star Trek universe. So I don't know whether it was the right idea.
Yeah, and these guys, Geordie and what's his name, Bocker or whatever it was on.
Even like Darmok, with Picard.
There was like Cisco and Gul Dukat had a shuttle crash.
Yeah,
and
in Waltz. In Waltz. Yeah. So there's about these 4 examples,
and
4 or 5.
Darmok.
Yeah.
Darmok, I just said that. Yeah, Darmok and Gillette.
Yeah, Darmok. Yes.
So it's kind of like
there's quite a few.
But you see, I can understand going back to 26 episodes a season, but they've only got 10. And they also had a 2-year turnaround. Could they not potentially find something a bit more unique? I mean, the thing is, I remember the old shows, they used to get people, they actually get scripted writers from outside of the writing pool, didn't they? They used to hire people submitting their own sort of story ideas.
Scripts,
Ronald D. Moore, I think he did that.
Yeah, that's how he got his job. Yeah.
And so
the bonding, I think it was.
Yeah, and he turned out to be one of the best writers on DS9. He did the Klingon mythology and everything else. So I just wonder why there seems to be kind of like this, kind of like they've lost any kind of elements that they can find in creative story writing. Is that me being overly critical, or how do you guys think?
I don't think so. I've thought that on more than one occasion this season.
I've got to say, I didn't mind the episode. Look, I thought the Metrons being included was interesting, but it didn't have to be there. But I think it gave a bit of a new perspective to the Gorn, which we hadn't seen yet. And I think that was something that probably should have come earlier. And it was good to at least see that touched on, instead of them being this race of completely horrifically. Their birth cycle was horrific. They were just horrific aliens, and this, I guess, balanced things out a little bit. And it was good to see the communication that was sort of there between Ortegas and this female pilot. It kind of reminded me that there was a bit of a missed opportunity with that, though, because I think I would have liked to have seen a bit of Breaking Bad with Mr. Salamanca's bell. You know, it could have been used as a communicator.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, and,
Ding.
you know, I think that would have been
Yeah.
really good to have seen a bit of that injected into it.
Although the thing that occurred to me with the whole universal translator is like, you know, she gets the thing, she pulls things out this and pulls it up that. Oh, there we go, it works. You know, it's like she did it in about 30 seconds. Like there was no trial and error or whatever. You know, I kind of felt like
trying to communicate.
Yeah, like you know, maybe there was a little bit of trial and error in terms of configuring it to get it working. Maybe even the Gorn would, you know, point at it and go like that there or something, you know, or not say that, but just point to it. So that there was a bit of collaboration with the building of the device so they could communicate. But all she did was she got this thing, unplugged this and plugged it back in and plugged this in and plugged it. Oh, it's working now, right? I can speak to you. You know, it's like
charging
that
your
was
iPhone or something, isn't it? Yeah.
And I kind of thought maybe if it was Uhura stuck on the planet with the Gorn, then I could kind of get that because she's a communications expert.
Yes.
She probably knows universal translators back to front and might have that skill to be able to do it that quickly. But I kind of felt like there needed to be a little bit more R&D time, you know, in the whole being able to communicate. Did that occur to you guys or?
I thought the way yes and no answers was clever, though. I actually thought that was a really good, because it still added a little bit of mystery sort of thing to it. If they'd have gone too far with that and just had a full communication, it would have took quite a lot away from the episode. So I thought that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
They at least pulled back a little bit there, and that worked better. But it's just one of those things that made the story happen, though, isn't it? They had to do it. They had to be able to communicate somehow. But actually, he could have just nodded or shook its head, and it would have been.
Depends on the culture, though, Jay. That's the other thing.
Well, that is true.
Yes.
Yeah, that might have gone like that.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know.
No.
Maybe they're doing this or something, you know. What does that mean, you know?
That is true. But they understood us, though, didn't they? They understood our language and stuff. So in theory, they could have maybe understood that they knew that meant yes. And so
they studied the enemy well.
Yes.
And what did you guys think overall of the? Because this has been the episode where we've seen the most amount of screen time from an actual Gorn. When you think about it, all of the previous appearances have gone up to this point. They've been either out of focus in the background. They've been kind of fleeting shots of them, you know, in a space something. Whereas this Gorn was on screen for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Were you guys kind of happy with the amount of screen time and the the interaction that we got with Ortegas, or were you guys kind of starting to I kind of felt like I was starting to aware that I'm looking at a puppet, because obviously the head is a puppet. They've got a guy in a suit with the hands, but the actual head itself is puppeteered. And I kind of started to become aware of the fact that I'm looking at a puppet, not an actual, you know, living, breathing creature
or a CGI sort of thing. I think it was all right. I mean, you know, I still obviously remember the original Gorn and how he sort of like up that, and there was early in that original episode Arena, and the mask for the original was very basic. I actually thought it was done all right. It might have been better if there's a few less shots with the how do you pronounce it? Animatronic. Yeah, if it was been a bit less, but I think on the whole, because the show is always visually very well done, that it didn't detract me too much myself. I thought it was all right.
I didn't really notice. But actually, I mean,
that's a good sign. If it didn't draw attention to itself and you didn't think that, then that obviously means that it's worked.
Yeah, I was fine with it. Yeah, I think it was all right.
I think this puts elements of this episode, like the Metrons, I found irritating. But on the whole, I loved this episode. I think Ortega's brilliant in it. I love the little detail about how, like, she's got an aircraft models and how she builds the flying bikes.
Spitfires, she had Spitfires and stuff. I love that. Yeah, I love all that.
I love Ortegas as a character. I think she's one of the best characters on the show. I love that she got her own episode.
And she did so well as well. Yeah.
I've said this before in my reviews. I actually find I'm more emotionally invested in the characters whose histories I don't know what's going to happen to them. Like I worry more about Laan and I worry more about Ortegas when they're on an away mission because you don't know what their fate is.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Whereas with most of the other characters, you know what their fate is.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I'm more emotionally invested in characters like Laan or Ortegas number one because there is a bit of a question there.
You have no idea what's going to happen to them.
Of where they end up. So when they get into the shit, it's like, oh, are they going to get out of this? You know, whereas other like with Pike and Mbenga on the zombie planet in episode 3, it's like, oh, I don't care because I know they'll both be fine.
They're going to make it. They're going to be fine.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
I'm surprised a couple of them didn't make it this season, to be fair, because a lot of the time they're contracted to 3 seasons with these shows. So towards the end of the 3rd season, you're never quite sure what's going to happen. Somebody
who's asking for more money? Yeah.
Well, you're going to definitely die then. You never quite know. So I'm surprised. I was surprised we didn't lose somebody like Laan in this season, but we didn't.
I do like Laan. I do like her. I think she's one of my favourite new characters. I think that is it Christina Chung? I think she does really good.
Yeah.
I think she's really. I mean, I keep saying it. The cast.
I think Christina's raised a few eyebrows. With some of those dancing scenes with Spock. I was like, ooh, you know.
Why is Spock smiling so much? I think that's why Spock's smiling so much these days, isn't it?
This is why Spock has got the smile on his face so much.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's a great dancer.
Yeah.
And it's a good dynamic between the pair of them too. I think like the Chapel and Spock sort of romance. I think that was kind of and look, the way she treated each other in the season.
No, it didn't work.
But this is a far more logical match, I think, and they really balance each other out. Like with her trauma that she's getting over from the Gorn, he's coming to terms with his human emotions and dealing with that and the fallout from Chapel. And I think they're really. They're in their dancing space and they're really supporting each other. So it's a far more genuine relationship, I think. What do you guys sort of think of that?
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they really work well together. I was very surprised when they got together, but I think it's a very interesting turn of events. But you just know it's going to be something tragic with her. You know, it's going to be Spock's going to lose her at some point. It's very obvious to me that she's going to go out.
Yeah, they've got to lean in.
Yeah, I almost felt like. What was I going to say? By the time they actually established a relationship between Spock and Laan, that there was more chemistry between Spock and Laan after like 2 episodes of them kind of being together than there was through all of the Chapel and Spock.
Absolutely. Yeah. Completely agree. Yeah, definitely.
They've got to merge the Laan storyline with the Khan storyline at some point though, because they've already teased it. So we've already.
Well, that was the first. That was the very first occasion, I think. The whole Khan connection in
tomorrow.
No. In the Vulcan episode, the fact that Laan's connection to Khan actually influenced an episode
where she's a threat,
where she became a threat.
Yeah.
I can't think of another moment in season 1 or 2 where anything has come up where her genetic background has actually altered it, apart from her saying, oh yes, as I was a kid I got teased because of my last name. When has as anything that she's done been, oh, she did that because she's got augment DNA in her? I can't think of a situation. This Vulcan episode was the first story where it actually played into the plot.
And look, it could resurface it too. I mean, that DNA that augmentation DNA could reassert itself. I mean, this Caconian, thing was, to me, it was like she was the last to sort of be brought back to her human state. What's to say that doesn't play in a future episode? Where
it could trigger something. Yeah, it could trigger something new in a further episode. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like maybe an episode where you get like a transporter accident and it splits her off into 2, and one's like an augment and one's a human, or it's like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of
that'd be interesting.
scenario.
Yeah,
I
like the
don't think
enemy
they'll go
within
that
or something.
complicated.
Or
I think they'll just. Sorry, I just think they'll remake the Khan episode. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll just do something with the bounty, and they'll just redo it. And they've already proven they're more than willing to do that. So
well, we know the Botany Bay or whatever is
it's
floating
still
around.
floating around. It's floating around. They could
They'll-
discuss
they'll-
it, but then
It's
they
floating.
could
The
do
Botany
it.
Bay is floating around in space somewhere with Khan and crew on board.
I was
You
gonna say
know,
it's off Sydney Heads, isn't it?
Yes.
Sorry,
they
Australian.
must have,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
must
yeah.
have a
That's
plan.
why it's named, because it was a bloody convict settlement.
That's it.
Bizarre.
That's it. Yeah.
But they must have a plan for it, or they wouldn't have this character in there. So they must have had
Hmm.
an idea what they were going to do,
Yeah, that's
or
a
they've
good- yeah.
gone condescending.
Or is it just a scenario a bit like, wasn't there another character that they connected? Oh, it's a bit like, or is it a scenario a bit like how they made, what's her name, Rachel Garrett, as the Starfleet liaison officer in Section 31?
Yeah.
Or
well,
how they
Section
made-
31. Yeah. Section 31 is
It's
like
like
standard.
it's like that
No,
character
no,
did not
no.
need to be Rachel Garrett. Are they
No,
just
no,
doing
no.
it
She was on the
for fan
Enterprise
service,
C.
you know?
She was just putting her name for just to sort of like make the fans happy, and she was not recognisable as Rachel Garrett from Enterprise C. Oh my God! I mean,
Yeah. So is it another situation the same as that, where they felt they had to? Oh, let's just give her the Noonien Singh last name.
That's
So
for the
the
older fans.
an Easter egg.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't
think
know what you
James-
mean by this Section 31. I have no recollection of that.
Sorry,
I
sorry.
don't
Might be the
confuse-
two of us,
you're
no?
wrong.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
well, hang on. We better all be
Yeah,
quiet,
yeah,
otherwise
yeah.
Jay's therapy will all be undone. And
There's hypnotherapy.
No one's having jokes.
we'll
No,
be
that's
triggered.
it.
We better not trigger him.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Wish
Let's
I'd
not
had
go
that for
there.
the music.
Yeah.
Oh. God.
Just one other thing with that episode too, with Uhura. Like I thought this was interesting with Uhura sort of being trusted, I guess, by Pike to, like she was really pushing to keep finding Ortegas. I mean, ordinarily they would have said, okay, she's gone through the wormhole. We've got a ship full of 200 odd on the Enterprise. I'm not sure it's 200 or 400. I kind of hear different figures sometimes for the crew.
230, about 250, isn't it? It used to be 400 in TOS,
Yeah.
but even
But
though
they
she
kind of
was bigger,
retconned it a bit in the documentary episode, didn't they?
Yeah,
Did they say 238? I think they said 238. I think they
I think
said.
they've kept the crew number the same.
Oh well, I mean,
But
in
the actual they
TOS,
changed. I think they
400.
changed they keep the crew number the same, but they changed the actual physical size of the ship.
Yeah.
They made
Oh,
the ship
sorry.
bigger.
Okay, maybe I can't remember. Maybe
No,
it
the
was.
crew size is
Yeah.
about the same, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry,
But-
I wasn't sure.
But they're not only putting like 200 people at risk trying to go through this, like keeping the wormhole open so that they, on this whim that they could, break through to Ortegas. And they're also risking, I think it was 4,000 colonists on this other planet that they've got to deliver some medicines to, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
It's like for one person, you're risking a starship, a crew, and 4,000 colonists. This to me, and it's all on faith. I mean, it was beautiful for Uhura and that trust that Pike had in her, but I felt that really, there's been a few examples of this in Strange New Worlds where it just felt a little bit beyond credibility or believability
Yeah,
for me.
for a captain's decision.
With the vaccine thing as well. We've seen that story thing before. But the other thing is, I was thinking, they've got the vaccine on the Enterprise. They've got to go to this other starship. A starship with that captain whose name I've forgotten that was a bit of an Easter egg to...
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Decker.
What was his
Decker.
name?
Same name
Decker, yes.
Yeah,
Matt
same name
Decker.
as the guys in
which was an Easter egg, or they're going to remake that episode as well. Why didn't the Enterprise just go to the planet with the colonists and just deliver it themselves? I mean, I don't understand why they have to rendezvous with another ship and then that ship goes to the... Or why didn't the ship that they were going to deliver it then come to them? When they phone them up and go, we can't actually get to you because one of our crew is off. Would you mind coming here? And then sort of like, it just seemed like oh God, we need a reason for the Enterprise not to stay. Vaccine will go with that.
Yeah.
It's
not a trope, though, is it? I mean, most of the shows have had an episode where we've got to get to this planet because these people need this vaccine. I mean, that's not a new idea either. But as you say, there was some of the ideas that they make just have so many plot holes. It gets annoying, especially as you say. They mentioned the constellation with Captain Decker, which I'd love to have seen because Doomsday Machine was my favourite episode of TOS. So it would have been great to see.
I mean,
they're so remaking that as well.
Don't.
I mean, what?
At some point.
I don't know what you guys thought about this, but the aspect of this episode that kind of irritated me the most was the fact that Uhura fudged the numbers on the simulation. Yeah. She changed. Pike said, in order for this to be viable, it's got to be at least 60%. And she just blatantly changed the numbers from 56 to 61%. So he would agree to go. And then at the end, when he kind of says, "Oh, look, I know you fudged the numbers. I know you did this." I was all ready for like, oh, right, good. He's going to go full Gordon Ramsay on her, and no, it's like not only did she not get any kind of telling off in this episode, Pike actually congratulated her for doing things for the right reasons or something. And it made me think of Star Trek episodes like The First Duty, where, Wesley Crusher hid the truth or whatever it is. Yeah, and Picard absolutely ripped him a new one. It's like, that scene with Picard going, Starfleet officers' first duty is to the truth, and you breached this and you did that. And, some of those scenes in Star Trek and scenes where, like, Tom Paris on the Voyager did something a bit dodgy and Janeway just
got demoted, yeah.
Ortega at the start of this season.
Ortega and so it's like all of these situations, which I would have said that Uhura's actions at least warranted that kind of level of, reprimand. And Pike just kind of goes, "Oh yeah, well, I know you did it, but that's okay, That's all right, you did it for the right reasons." And she said, "Oh, thank you, sir." He gave her a compliment.
And why did they?
And it's like what you were saying just then, David, about saying about what was it, 4,000 colonists, the entire crew of the Enterprise, all these people's lives she put at risk, doesn't even get a remote reprimand whatsoever.
Reprimand at all, nothing.
No, nothing. And the iPad apparently just has a button where you can go, "I don't like those numbers."
Yeah.
Yes. The button's like, "Would you like to cheat?" "Yes, please."
Yeah. Yes. No worries.
Yeah, but I mean, have you noticed that in modern Star Trek that does seem to be a little bit more informal with Starfleet officers interacting with people in command? It's you remember. I remember obviously DS9, Next Gen, Voyager. There was a proper, much more formal way of talking to the captain and the command, like the first officer. But now it's kind of like, "Hey, Chris, how you doing? Oh, which star do you want to choose?"
Everybody's having beers in his quarters and come over for dinner, have some beers.
Yeah. What's for dinner today?
Yeah.
I've got turkey.
Let's have a Barbie. Let's have a Barbie in the holodeck or something.
Do you think it's a byproduct of workplaces in today's day and age, where you've got HR kind of, situations going on at workplaces where, you can't tell me off, or, like obviously, I'm a Gen Xer, and back in my day when I was in my 20s and you screwed up at work, you'd get a, a telling off or whatever. Yeah, but it's like now everybody's you can't say this to people and you can't say that to people, and everybody's got to be all, Do you think it's kind of an extension of that?
I think so, but I'm just thinking, as you've asked that, they're going to make a new Star Trek series called Section Human Resources. And they could actually
31.
And they could have a story about every Starfleet ship with this whole sort of command, Starfleet officers, the human resources, got their own logo, and they're just telling off people, and they just say, "Okay, well, they said that, and you can't do that," and sorry, I don't know why I thought
you're
that.
Joking about this, but Tony Newsom's plan is to do a work-based comedy, so it might not be that far off the truth. But I was going to say, Pike, I think it's the first season when they're like that pirating thing, and you see Pike and the Enterprise goes, "Jim lad," or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine for a second Picard, Cisco,
No.
Janeway, Archer.
Yeah.
Arch,
Or
no,
any
none.
captain ever.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
That's exactly what I'm thinking. No.
It just wouldn't happen. It's just like, no, that's just stupid.
But that then goes back to what you were saying earlier, Jay, about elements of comedy creeping into the season more and more often, you know.
It's just I always joke that. Oh, sorry, no, wait, go on, Dave.
I was just going to say, but I think Pike's probably a different proposition than these other captains. He's got a different style. Like it is very like reflective of, I guess, the current collaborative, flat hierarchical type, scenarios that we see in nowadays. And I think he also expects the team to come up with the solutions. He's kind of just like placing the pieces on the chessboard. They're doing all the work, and he's kind of just letting the people sort of run things. And there's another example of where, say, for example, with Mbenga, where he learns the truth about Mbenga through the
murder of what's his name, Duck Ra.
Duck Ra.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes, that's all okay too. So he definitely goes beyond the pale for his people, and maybe too far, and maybe to their detriment in the future.
When you think about it, it's basically like Mike's going, oh, who are you? Fudge the results. That's okay. You'll be right. Oh, and Benga, you murdered that guy. That's okay. You'll be right. You're
what
my
was the
friend.
episode there where Worf murdered in a
did he murder Duras or something?
Duras, yeah.
Picard ripped him a new one. Even though he said, I know why you did it, I understand it.
He said, do you want to resign? He asked him if he wanted to resign.
You ever do that again, there will be official reprimand. That is more realistic. But I would actually always say, do you see these dramas and things where they say, oh, this is so realistic. And I'm like, I'm not sure it is, because in my experience, there is always humour in things. And the worse things get, the more people do tend to. It's a defence mechanism. You do tend to make. I've worked in the NHS. I work for social services now. You do use humour as a self-defence system. So I don't mind seeing humour in these things. I just know that a captain is supposed to command the respect of his crew. And Picard used to do this a lot, didn't he? The final point that Picard was separate from the crew in lots of ways.
He was more alone.
Yeah,
he was more cut off.
Yeah. We just don't. The point of the final episode when Picard sits down and plays poker with them, that was a massive.
That was a major sort of change for him. Yes.
Yeah, and when you think about it, that's like the equivalent of Pike having a dinner party, but that only happens in the last episode. Pike's having dinner parties right from about episode 2 of the whole show.
He has them every night.
Yes. Yeah, there were a few dinner party scenes this season. I felt like it. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Looks a lot.
Yeah, he's more like a chef than a captain, isn't he? Mate? Sort of like...
Well, he is literally a chef, isn't he? He really likes to cook.
Yeah.
They bring. I actually think a lot of the actors are just turning up, going, "I like to cook." Well, write that in. And,
but that's every character. It kind of seems like the actors have come in, and it's like they've talked to the producers, and Babs says, "Oh, I can do kung fu. Oh, great, we'll write that into the show." Anson Mount says, "Oh, I like cooking. Oh, we'll put that in the show." Christina is a dancer. Oh, we'll put dancing. It's like these people are actors. Their whole job is to make believe things they can't do. We don't necessarily need them to do it. Like otherwise, don't hire. If you're going to put people in the show just because of their skill set and hobbies in real life, well, just get some bloke off the street,
But I think, having said that, look, it's also good for the actors to have some inputs, and where it works and it makes sense, yes, but not just gratuitously. I think there's probably a fine line there or a balance.
But it's not like they say, oh, we need a we need a serial killer in this episode. Let's go to the prison.
We'll get Dexter out.
We'll get Dexter out of the prison because we can't use an actor. We have to have somebody who knows how to murder somebody in real life. Do you know what I mean?
Brent Spiner had a history of being on the stage and singing and doing lots of stuff. So eventually they brought some of that into his character. But they did it around the 4th, 5th season.
Yeah, it took a long time. It was a long time. Yes, it was.
When the actors were established.
Yes.
Riker, Jonathan Frakes could actually
play the trombone.
Or the trombone, sorry. So
Crusher, the dancing doctor. Dr. Crusher, the Gates McFadden's a dancer.
Data's Day,
Data's Day.
Rob Picardo. Robert Picardo's a very good sort of like almost operatic singer. He's very
Oh, I know.
wrote that in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a bit late. I just think they do a bit. It's almost like they're actually like interviewing him early on, like going, okay, so what can you do to this character? And I was like, well, I can ride a unicycle. Brilliant. Your character's now a unicycle.
Episode 8. That's it. Episode 8 is sorted.
Yeah, it's just like I just think they've gone too far with it. And it's not a natural progression, is what I'm trying to say, I suppose. It feels a bit forced. And it's like a lot of the actors, would you like to sing? I love to sing. Singing is my favorite thing. Brilliant, we'll do a musical. And then I block my breath.
Hey, Jay, you know
Watch
what
out,
comes back
Jay,
to the musical, doesn't it?
will trigger that therapy again.
Yeah,
Always comes back to the musical.
The musical ever happened.
I love the musical. I actually didn't mind it. I always find it. Every episode,
Mike,
streams.
Sure,
I didn't mind it.
Jay's going to start having a seizure.
If you like
the CD in the mouth for you, Jay.
Fine. If you like the
Thank
musical,
you.
you're wrong.
I didn't mind it.
It's fine.
Okay, I
You're
accept
allowed
that. Thank you very much.
You're allowed to
Thank you,
enjoy
Jay.
whatever you want.
Thank
It's
you
a
very
free
much.
country.
That's
and you're
good.
free
Thank
to
you.
be a complete
I really
moron.
appreciate you
It's
saying that to me, Jay. That's great. Thank you very much. That's made my
You
day.
have
Thank
my
you very much.
permission.
Oh, that's really kind. That's brilliant. Thumbs up. Thank you.
It's still crap, though.
Before we move on to the last episode of the season, the other thing I wanted to comment about for Terrarium or whatever is was it just me or did you guys see the whole La'an murdering the Gorn coming a mile away? Because as soon as Ortegas was starting to kind of befriend the Gorn and saying, "Oh, we'll save you," you won't die. Like it's like I started to think about it's like, what? So they're going to beam the Gorn back onto the Enterprise and give it quarters, and then they're going to drive it back to Gorn.
Take it back to Gorn space. Yeah,
exactly. I immediately thought that's not going to happen. And then I thought, oh, okay, like when La'an comes with a landing party to bring Ortegas home, first thing they're going to do is see the Gorn and go, "Oh, Gorn, you're dead," you know. That was, I kind of did see that coming quite a way away. Did that bother you guys, or did you kind of just go with the flow?
Well, it was realistic.
Yeah, no, I was going to say they had to finish off a certain way. So as you all said, I mean, it's kind of like, what else could they do? They can leave the Gorn on the planet and then they just bugger off and leave it, or it's going to die, or they're going to bring it back to the starship and perhaps have some sort of way of. But then they can't because by Arena they didn't really know the Gorn that well, even though it's a bit of a contradiction. So I suppose killing it off really was the only option. Sorry, Jay, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think it was realistic as well that La'an isn't going to go, oh, Ortegas is right next to the Gorn and isn't dead. She's just going to go, Gorn! And she's
Gorn.
Yeah, which is basically what she did. So it wasn't even. I don't think Ortegas even had an opportunity to go, "Oh, wait," or or stop, or hang on. Well, there was no the second she came out of the shelter, it's like, oh, bang, you're dead. It was like, it was instantaneous almost.
It wasn't gone in 60 seconds. It was gone in 1
1
second.
second. Yeah.
It's gone very quickly, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Sorry.
Exactly.
It's 100% what would happen, but it was. Yeah, I agree with you. From the start of the episode, you're like, this Gorn is not surviving this episode.
Nah, it's a corner.
Yeah.
All the puns are coming out thick and fast now.
Thank you for that one, sir.
Also, just in the next episode, there wasn't any kind of repercussions because I think Ortegas sort of
I
dealing
thought
with
that they could have actually talked about it.
Unless I missed
I would have liked to see a bit of snubbing.
Why did you kill that?
Friction,
I would have liked to see them pass in the corridor or something and having a bit of Ortega's kind of snubbing her a little bit. Like, I'm still not talking to you yet. You killed my friend,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just like that they went, oh, my PTSD is all better now.
Fine.
Do
Wiped it away like a stain or something. Like, gone, it's gone, it's fine, it's great. Bye.
Nothing to see here.
It's a shame. I think that was, and we were going to talk about the last episode in a second, but it's another disappointment in this series that was they set up something really interesting there with Ortega and her PTSD, and then didn't really do anything with it.
So
and they had one bit in the second episode, which was good, and then she sort of got better, and then they did this, and now she's all well.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with the Vesta. that right?
Esther.
Vesda,
I think
yeah.
it is.
They did the same thing with the Vesda. They set up this brilliant thing, and then they just sort of went, and
Yeah,
just
I
sort of
know.
went, that's sorted now. Oh,
Yeah,
great. I was
that's
like
it.
quite looking forward to seeing where that went. But okay, fine.
Yeah, so episode 10, our season finale with the return of Ensign Gamble as
Came back
Bonehead,
from the
or-
dead, from the transport.
it looks like a Minbari gone wrong.
Yeah, it does.
No, hang on. Bonehead was Rimmer on Red Dwarf, but
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
It's that guy from Event Horizon. I
Yes.
think
Oh, yeah.
oh
yes.
yeah.
Your favourite movie, Nick? Yeah.
yeah, yes.
Not.
I mean, overall, well, yeah. What did we? I mean, it had some nice bits in it. It's like, you know, there was a few things that I had issue with, but I think
It was
it
all
got
right.
a part
It was
great
okay.
as a season finale. What did you guys think?
I hate it.
Well, it was probably an episode that sort of stood apart from, say, like relying on the past. So, for example, you know, like in terms of season finales, we had the Gorn in Hegemony in season 2. In season
Which was
1, we
better.
had-
That was better. Yeah.
yeah, it was. And then season 1, we had the Romulan.
That was good.
The Balance of Terror,
Balance of Terror remake.
That's really good.
And also, you know, like Pike's future outcome, that was kind of relied upon for this. This was kind of like relying on something that had been invented in season 3 and kind of resolved in season 3, I guess. So it was probably a bit refreshing in that sense. But was it a great season finale? I thought it was just a bit of an average one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it felt like it was if it had just been a regular episode, I think it would be fine. But the fact that it was the season finale,
Yeah,
you
that's
kind of
what I think.
automatically expect it to be a little bit better than your average
The
episode.
grand, yeah, it felt like it's just an ordinary episode, like a sequel. It didn't feel like a season finale to me, and that was the problem. You do expect a lot from a season finale when, you know, there's only 10 episodes, and it was just there. It was all right, but I think Jay was about to say he didn't like it. Did you, Jay?
No, I hated it. There's several bits in it I thought was stupid.
Okay.
The whole bit where Joseph's got that thing written on it, and he goes, "Oh, it's in my language, and it's about me." Oh, and I'm like, "Okay, why?" And then
Isn't that the whole cause preceding effect thing that I talked about? How they like on this
Exactly.
planet or something they
It's
had.
got to be that cause and effect thing, but again, they didn't really explain that very well. The dream sequence at the end is the dream sequence at the end isn't a gift. It's I would consider that just cruel. I go, so I've got all these memories that aren't going to happen because I'm going to be disabled. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
I think that would really mess with your brain.
Like Davros.
Yeah.
The Vulcan mind meld that then basically gave them telepathic connection over distance.
Syncing, the syncing thing.
That's not happened before. But we did get to see the Enterprise spinning again for no
They always
good
spin
reason.
it. They always spin it.
They love a spin of that bloody Enterprise.
They love it.
Anytime they have the Enterprise, can we spin it?
In the
Why?
musical, it's
Because
grand.
it looks
In the
good. Shut
Jay,
up, do it.
But that's just Kurtzman Trek loves to spin spaceships around
yeah,
in
they love that.
circles.
We spent
Yeah,
all
he
this
does.
money on this special effect. Got to use it every chance we get. I thought it was such a disappointment the way they did the Vesda, but also such a disappointment that the way they set up Sentry, again, that didn't make any sense. They said, "Well, I'm the genetic memory of all species." How?
Ow, yeah.
It's
Well, hang
just
on. She wasn't all species. She just said a human, Illyrian, and Gorn. But that's only 3. It's not like you've got the collected
But
memories.
then-
I
of,
thought she said. I
She
thought
does.
she said
No,
something
she
else about
does
all of them. It said
specifically
all
say,
species.
"I am
All
the-
species.
I am the thing of all species come
Yeah,
together." And then
it was.
Pike
It was
actually
season
goes,
3.
Pike says, "This doesn't
Where
make
did that
sense."
come
And
from?
says,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly where it come from. So Spike says, "This doesn't make sense," and she goes, "No, it makes sense for the first time." And I'm there going, "No, it doesn't make sense. Like was right the first time." This just interdimensional ley lines really annoyed me, and I'm just
Right.
this is going to be a bit too
Sport drive. Yeah.
Well, the things I've just done a video on this. Actually, it goes out tonight. Ley lines are a pseudoscience, actually invented by the British. Well done. But it's a pseudoscience that they drew lines between these blue things. They said they're energy lines. There is actually a scientific thing they could have gone with called galactic filaments, which is a genuine scientific theory. connected to like string theory and stuff, that a lot of galaxies are actually formed in strings, and they don't really know why, but that's a real thing in science. They could have said it was that, but no, they called it ley lines.
I mean, you could have just, the ley lines thing could have just been a way of explaining it to the audience, that they say the galactic string that you mentioned, and then Sam Kirk says, "Oh, like a bit like ley lines," you know, like use it as a comparison,
It's like
so the audience,
yes.
so the audience go, "Oh, okay, I get what you're talking about now."
But they can't.
But don't actually call them ley lines. You know, call them something else and use the ley lines example so that the audience knows what you're talking about.
Yeah,
exactly. It's just dumbing it down and forgetting that it's supposed to be science fiction. And again, not really caring about your fan base that actually know a bit about this stuff.
Yeah, we tend to know this stuff, don't we?
So yeah, there's just, even though it's like all of this season, to be honest, that the episode is actually relatively entertaining in its bits. There's just too many bits in there that are thrown in that just wind me up as a science fiction fan. And the bit at the end, the whole dream sequence that I consider to be really cruel, was too long. So it actually
did go on a bit, didn't it? It went on for about 6 minutes, didn't it?
That was the comment that I made in my review, is that I said I didn't object to the life not lived dream sequence, but in a 60-minute episode of Strange New Worlds, that life not lived dream sequence went for 12 minutes.
Was it 12 minutes? I thought it was 6 minutes. Oh, blimey.
It was just short of 12. It was like 11 and a half minutes or something, right?
Wow. Okay.
Now, have you guys seen La La Land?
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so Jay, you remember at the end of La La Land when Emma Stone is sitting in the jazz club, and she locks eyes with Ryan Gosling, and they have this sort of shared dream sequence moment where they imagine in pretty much the same way what their life would have been like if they'd stayed together.
Yeah.
Kind of the same concept. That was a 2-hour movie, and that sequence went for 6 minutes. So half the amount of time that the sequence went for in Strange New Worlds. So I liked the fact that they had that moment. If this is the last time we're ever going to see Marie Battelle again, yes, you needed something in there, but did we really need to see almost 12 minutes worth of their entire life spelled out year after year after year?
It could have been flash, 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 flash. As well. But the whole thing was about me saying that it was a gift and it was cruel. They did this in Picard in Generations, when Picard is in the
Nexus.
The Nexus. But in Nexus, in there we went, this isn't a gift, it isn't real.
But he was aware of that. Yeah.
You know, and he's aware that, so he chooses to leave.
Yes.
In this, they just sort of went with, oh, okay, this is a gift, thank you. And now I'm like, but maybe it explains why he behaves the way he does in Menagerie, and why he's so willing, so desperate.
But in Menagerie, this is the other thing. It doesn't work either, because in Menagerie, he goes off to shag some bird that he just met on an away mission like 10 years ago.
Vina. Was that Vina?
Vina, yeah. So he had one away mission with Vina, which obviously they had that return to her in that Discovery season 2 episode.
Yes.
But still, it's like, but hang on, when we get to original series and Spock takes him to go and live with Vina with the Talos 4 people, it's like, why isn't do you know what I mean? Like, hang on, this isn't the love of his life here, you know?
No.
But he didn't perceive all those years, though. In that 12-minute thing, he didn't actually live all those years, did he? It was just like glimpses of jumping in time.
No, I think the point was
it like an inner light scenario?
I took it as an inner light scenario. So you think he actually lived that whole time?
I don't know.
Because I was about that.
But the whole thing about it, he didn't get a flute at the end. He didn't get a flute at the end. He didn't even get his chef's
Where's
cake.
my bloody piccolo?
You know,
he got an apron.
Come up with nothing.
Yeah.
I got a bloody apron. I wanted a piccolo.
I should have got an apron at least, you know?
Yeah, he got an apron.
Chef in Starfleet.
Yeah.
They didn't explain it very well, but I think the point was supposed to be the point that it was a gift, was supposed to be the life he could have lived.
He could have had.
Lived if this happened, sort of thing. So don't worry, it's all better. But then he got to live to see Battelle die anyway. So I was still then, I don't want to see my wife die. Just again, it was one of those things you just go, why did they do that? They didn't think it.
Well, yeah, but also when you watch The Inner Light, it's a very, very emotional episode. It was done so well. This was just a very half-assed kind of trying to piggyback that sort of story idea, and it wasn't done very well, I'm afraid. At least not for me.
But the other thing that kind of occurred to me as well was that the fact that because we spent 11 and a half minutes watching the life story of Chris and Marie, by the time we actually got back to Vardian 9 and we had this showdown, like it happened in like 30 seconds. It's like they came back. Battelle goes whoosh, and all of the Vesda go suck back into the well of souls, and the creature comes out of what's his name, Bonehead bloke.
Gamble.
Bonehead.
Bonehead. Vesda Gamble.
Yeah, and it comes out of him, goes into the thing, and it all closes up, and then Marie, boom, she becomes the statue, and it all happens in about 30 seconds. You know, probably. You know. Maybe even less than 30 seconds, you know. You
could argue that what happened before that as well had to be condensed down to allow this. So when they're talking about ley lines and all this other stuff, they could have cut that bit down and allowed things to be, they could have evened the episode out. At times you're thinking, this episode is cracking along.
God, you got to put that on.
It was Nane, by the way. It's not, no,
I love it, Chuck.
There are 4 lines.
That was
but now I keep thinking now that Bonehead I just keep thinking now, following this conversation, that Bonehead just got sucked off at the end, and that was the end of it. So
hello.
I'm sorry, it's Jade's fault. It's Jade's fault.
Can't blame me for every sick thing that goes on in your head.
You just blew it, Mike.
I've been watching your stuff for a long time.
Someone got blown.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm sorry too. Sorry.
I mean, I briefly thought in this episode that they were potentially when I saw Battelle with the eyes, I thought, are they going to connect this somehow to Gary Mitchell? Yeah, I thought they're going to do a bit of a Gary Mitchell thing going on or whatever.
Yeah, I would like to have seen that actually. That would have been great. Why make it look so similar? I mean, it looks exactly the same as Gary Mitchell in No One's Gone Before. So I thought that's a bit of an odd thing, but apparently it was slightly different. It's more like you could see like a galaxy in their eyes rather than
it was like a nebula and stars and everything you could see.
So it was slightly different, but I got confused. I thought it was like a canon thing, but it wasn't.
I had this Thundercats toy when I was a kid, and you stuck this like ring in the back, and the eyes lit up. And I was just wondering, what makes his eyes light up? And I was like, oh no, it was what made her eyes do that? And why didn't they just like pop like thingy? Wish they wouldn't do things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, remember the Gord in Stargate? I mean, their eyes lit up all the time as well, didn't they? So
yeah, again, no reason for
the Gorn.
No, the Gord. The Gord.
Oh, the Gord. Sorry, I think you said the Gorn.
No, not
yet. Their eyes lit up, and for no good reason. But it did help them see in the dark. So,
yes, that's useful, isn't it? Yeah, so that's good.
If you could turn your eyes into torches, let's be honest, we'd all do it. So, I mean, trying to get your key in the door when you're a bit pissed, if your eyes could just go.
Yeah, and the light bulb.
So handy, Jay. So handy.
It would be. It would be really handy.
After a pub crawl, you know.
Yeah, be useful.
What did you guys think of the whole, syncing up the starships routine to fire a double phaser beam, which was as Pellier said, had to be the power of Earth's sun.
2 starships, yeah.
2 starships, and then they're firing it.
They were 5 meters away. They were 5 meters away from 2 phasers, which would practically blow up a whole planet. And they were acting like it was like a heater or like a toaster or something in the corner or something.
Yeah, I was
just warm the hands.
I was watching this, and they're standing next to the whole gateway thing, and it's like, okay, I thought I was kind of expecting, are they gonna back up a little bit, just if they know that the back of the door is being hit with double phaser beams from
2 starships,
the 2 starships, are they actually gonna gonna back it up a bit or something like that? Because otherwise, I'm thinking, hang on, they're gonna end up looking like this. It's like, hang on, that's a bit of a suntan that you're gonna get from the back of the doorway or whatever.
They should have had
suntan lotion from the Inner Life.
They should have had sausages on forks. Had sausages on forks and just sort of like held it up and had a barbecue.
Yes. There was something I just thought, even if they just backed up and hidden behind a pillar, because there was a whole lot of pillars and
they just stood there. They couldn't give it to us. They couldn't care less.
Yeah, it's just I would have liked to see them take Captain, we're about to fire. Just back up a little bit, take cover or whatever. But no, they just stood there.
They did that in the episode of Apollo. The scene where they're going to fire on the structure in the TOS, and they run for cover, and that was just one starship in what's the episode of Apollo. But you know the one I've been talking about.
Who mourns for Adonis or something?
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they ran for cover, and that was one starship. This was two. Nah, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. I'll get my sausages. I'll have a barbecue.
I put my sunblock on this morning before I left.
That's all right.
The
Starship.
Starship, whatever.
Shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah. And I like to have the safety protocols of the Starship won't let us fire in synchronicity. Why? I'm sorry, but I actually...
It has to be a telepathic thing, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know. Why could they not
what was the whole
enemy? And we
did anybody else
in the same
what
time.
What was the whole thing that Scotty was talking about? He's like, but phaser beams are not additive; they're complementary, or whatever. I was like, what was that all about?
What's a load of old bollocks? No, it's a load of crap.
No, it would actually be a good thing. And I don't think we've ever seen Spock mind meld with somebody and then be able to keep the connection. I do remember an original series episode when he kind of did it, and then they had to be on the other side. But the other being was a psychic, was telepathic. So I think
it was
point.
In the original series. There's one with Simon Van Gelder where he mind melds, and they were talking at the sort of same time. That's the only time I can think of where
were they in proximity to each other, or
there was something again. They had to do something in synchroson. So and there was like a barrier. They put like a board, and they counted it. Well, as I said, the other one was a psychic being. So that was like bloody a Metron or something. I forget what it's called.
Oh yeah, but, I can't remember. Yeah.
So the fact that I don't know how they were able to do that. And somebody commented on one of my videos was saying because they mind melded like that and knew all that stuff about each other, but Kirk still didn't know that Spock had a brother. So that was still a surprise when it comes to Star Trek V. So it was that's a good point. And
good
they
point.
never
That is a good point.
They never mentioned they should have known everything about each other. But
it was a bit of a daft idea. I mean, as you say, it's about them learning each other. I mean, they just seem to be speeding up their sort of relationship and trying to get it into shoehorn it into TOS. But some of the methods that they're trying to do it don't seem to work, at least not for me, very well. It seems a bit inconsistent.
It's just another why moment. Why did they do that?
Yeah, why?
They could have cut that whole bit out and let the episode have a better pacing, but they had to have an excuse to bring Kirk into it. And that's basically...
Well, my thought, I mentioned this in my review, my thought was because the season finale of each preceding season had the introduction of a legacy character. Obviously, Kirk was introduced in the season finale of season 1. Scotty was introduced in the season finale for season 2. I thought because there's that moment in the port galley when where Kirk says, you've got a really good pilot here in the form of Ortegas. And I thought what Kirk was going to say, how about I bring the helmsman from the Farragut? His name's Sulu,
and brilliant. That would have been awesome.
And then they had Ortegas and Sulu doing the whole maneuver thing.
But Sulu was a scientist.
That was the direction I thought it was heading in, and then they obviously just went, no, we'll just I'll just do.
But then they'd have had to have cast Sulu and given him a contract, which means he.
And also,
episodes.
Yeah.
Sulu's first appearance, he wasn't a helmsman. He was like a scientist. He wore
a blue
science uniform.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have still even done that. They could have even sort of like had him in that sort of role and explain it in somehow. But I don't know if they're going to follow canon that much. I mean, if you do see Yeah, if you see Sulu in Strange New Worlds, I guarantee he'll be a helmsman. They'll completely forget about the one episode where he was wearing blue. I can't see them.
They'll probably bring Chekhov into at some point, even though Chekhov
but they can't. They can't do that. He'd be about 18 at this point.
They can totally bring back Chekhov, and I'll tell you exactly how and why.
Okay.
For starters, even though Chekhov didn't appear until season 2 of the original series, that was working on the bridge. There's no reason why he couldn't have been a lower decker, like a Boimler Mariner, Tendi Rutherford, lower decker, working, somewhere down the bowels of the ship already. And remember, in Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan says to Chekhov, I never forget a face. I remember you. I remember your Chekhov. It's like, hang on. Space Seed was in season 1. Chekhov wasn't.
He was in season 2, I know.
Chekhov didn't appear until season 2, but yet Khan knew Chekhov. He remembered his face. He remembered his name and everything in Wrath of Khan. So
how many years?
So maybe Chekhov, Khan was walking down the corridor and bumped into him, and he was so. Oh, sorry, I was cleaning out the food dispenser. I got to go back to my job down in the bowels of the ship somewhere. What's your name? Oh, Chekhov. I'll remember you.
I'll never forget a face.
Doesn't mean he wasn't bridge crew. You're right. It could have been an ensign. He was on the lower deck, couldn't he? He was in lower deck.
Yeah, exactly.
But Chekhov was. When we saw Chekhov in season 2, he said in one episode he was 22. So how many years before are we actually in Strange New Worlds?
He'd be 17.
I think we're original series season 1 is 2265.
So he would have been 21 in TOS first season.
2365, 2265. This season, so season 3 of Strange New Worlds, which obviously showcase the centenary of the Federation, should be 61. So we're 4 years away from.
So he's 18. 17. Okay.
So he could have.
2265.
He could have.
Yeah. So he could have. So he could have just come out of the academy and been put in a little, shit kicker job down in, the bowels of the ship somewhere or whatever, for his first assignment out of the academy.
There. He could be there now.
Do year 1 Star Trek. It won't be based on it. It'll be lower decks.
Well, didn't they establish? I mean, it's obviously a different universe, but didn't they establish in the Kelvin universe that when Chekhov was running around the Enterprise on that, he was only 17 or something?
Quite young.
Yeah, they did. He was younger than that, but then
because I remember they asked him, "So how old are you?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm 17 or something or whatever."
He lied on his application.
Russians. Oh, God's sake. Anyway,
I don't know. Crazy.
So I had to run off. My dinner was burning. I got my dinner.
Right.
That doesn't smell great. Turned it off.
Yeah. Chef Pike's.
There was also a little Doctor Who reference, I think, in this from Pelio.
There was two. There's been visiting two now.
Yeah,
I have to say, I do find Pelio very annoying. I love the actress in Taxi. I used to love the sitcom Taxi, but I do find her a bit annoying in this show. I used to like Hemmer more. I thought Hemmer was a better character, but it's just the way she talks. Right. And she's do you all like, is it me or do you like Pelio? Do you think she's a great character? I just find her a bit, I don't know. I can only take the small doses.
Sometimes I think sometimes she's good and sometimes she can, sometimes I'm struggling to understand her accent.
Yeah, I can't.
Other times, she said something in this episode. They're in the science lab and she makes some comment. I thought, what the hell did you just say? I mean, sometimes I think she's had some nice moments, and sometimes it's I guess it's all about that what we're talking about before in terms of that how much on the fence of quirkiness do you want to sit? And sometimes she can sit in a good place, and sometimes it can be a little bit too much.
What is Starfleet? She was brilliant towards the end, where she does that bit, she does that dramatic thing, and then she turns.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Do that again, and I thought that was great.
I did laugh out loud during that. That was funny. But yeah, does this mean that Pellia used to be a Doctor Who companion at some point in her life? I don't know.
I just found this stupid.
Did you?
don't know why they did it.
But it's
I mean,
twice now,
it definitely
didn't it?
does smell a little bit like they're trying to set up a future crossover episode or something.
Oh, they can't. The universes are just too different. They can't cross over. Unless it's a different
I think
dimension
it's
or
a bit-
something.
Unless there's a portal opens to a different universe or whatever, and
This was
And
just
then
a bit of a nod to a couple of Doctor Who episodes where they kind of mentioned Star Trek, and that's all it was. It was a bit of a nod to that. So it's just I just found it a bit stupid, but I can kind of see why they did it as a bit of an in joke. And I was like, that's fine. But people went nuts over it, and I'm just like, it's not a big deal. Just calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
nod to Doctor Who. It's fine. I don't know why they bothered. I found it was a bit like how you watch Battlestar Galactica and the Firefly is in it. And the Firefly flies by at one point and was like, they're giving the Firefly. He goes, no.
I've still never seen that.
Did the special effects, and they just sort of had a model of the Firefly, so they just used it. Or the Millennium Falcon in First Contact.
Yes.
Because it was
but
the Industrial Light and Magic.
it looks like it, but I thought I heard that wasn't a Millennium Falcon. I heard it was a Federation starship. But it's shaped very similar. It's very similar shape.
I think
it's by the ball
legally,
cube. I remember the scene. Yeah. I do know the scene.
It's not the Millennium Falcon. Oh, for God's sake, Disney, don't sue us. It's like, it's like royalties.
Also, was it just me, or did that final battle thing with all the Vezda flying around the joint remind you of the Well of not the Well of Souls, or
the Ark of the Covenant?
The Ark of the Covenant being opened up in Raiders, and all of the ghosts. All the ghosts are flying around and everything.
Keep your eyes closed, Marion.
Yeah. They kind of
did. When Mattel's hand started to grow, I thought she was going to regenerate, like on Doctor Who, going back to Doctor Who.
Yes.
Her hands had this energy. I thought she's going to suddenly burst and go like that and turn into I don't know.
A Time Lord.
A Time Lord.
Yeah, she does look like she's a Time Lord at that point.
Yeah, she does look like she's regenerating. I just thought that.
I thought that whole sequence at the end was really epitomizes Star Trek recently, is that it was really, really beautiful. It was lovely done, but it was all beauty, no sort of like substance. There was absolutely no reason why they suddenly jumped into a big open universal scene.
Because the whole background thing kind of it all disappeared and collapsed on itself, and there was the whole thing kind of unfolded, and it just ended up being like a walkway with like a planet in the background, and it's it was
just open universe.
You're right. It was pretty, but it's like, does it make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
Ley lines.
A lot of
ley lines.
Well, it all goes back to ley lines. Yeah.
It's all ley lines.
Obviously. They didn't break into song, though, so that's always a bonus. Every episode that doesn't break out into song, I'm reasonably happy.
So although they did have a song at the end of it. So how did you feel about that piece at the end of it?
Didn't they? Yeah. I was surprised they had that, actually. I didn't expect that at all. They don't normally go that direction, do they? So, I don't know what to make of that, really. Yeah, I forgot about that too until you said.
Let's wipe out the entire third season because they sang again.
Don't forget Puppets next year, Jay.
I can't wait. Sorry, mate. I think that's going to be the greatest thing that's ever happened to television.
What, the Muppets in space and Star Trek, you mean?
Yeah. I can't wait for that. I don't think it'll be all stupid.
Are they going to have like Muppet characters like Gonzo?
There we go.
Like,
do you know the one thing? Genuinely.
Did you doctor that?
No, that's real.
Wow.
That is an image.
Wow.
That is for real. That is a picture that
I thought you making
Melissa Navia.
God, she looks like she's singing.
That's real.
Melissa Navia posted that on Twitter.
Yeah, the hand has been grown back right from the Gorn.
The only thing I'll say about this is it's giving business to Jim Henson's company, which I love, because that is it. They've been struggling a bit for a few years. So anything that gets Jim Henson's production company a bit of money, brilliant. I just wish it wasn't bloody Star Trek. And when they did the big reveal and Pike turned around, everyone else went, "Whoa!" And I went, "Oh God!"
Oh no! But don't forget that the Muppets do sing a lot, Jay. Just keep that in mind.
They do.
A bit of a warning.
They do sing a lot. Look out.
Look at him, he's seething there. Look at him. He looks like he's like
This
ruined
isn't
his
me
weekend.
angry. This is not me angry. This is me
I'm
ready
doing
to
the therapy.
tears.
Yeah.
Please stop doing this to Star Trek, please.
but on that point, like I think we talked about this once before, but this Muppet thing would be good to do as a special on its own. Like, don't make it a part of
Christmas
Strange
special
New
or something.
Yeah, a Christmas special or just an odd, like just something separate to the true series. Just have it as a special of its own. You know, I think that would
Christmas
want to work quite well.
It's what they should do with a musical. 11th episode, I'd have had no problem with it. A special at Christmas or something. Brilliant. I'd have no problem.
Festive episode, a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
They could put a Christmas tree on the Enterprise. They could
Star
like
Trek
have
special.
baubles and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to push the boundaries and do things they haven't done before, they should go back to. Remember there was that rumor going around a while ago about a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
where he was
going
to direct an episode or direct a movie or something. You know,
he can do a movie. Yeah.
Do you know the only reason he didn't was because he didn't want it to be his last film, because he said he was only ever going to do 10. And it didn't be his last movie.
But I think but then Star Trek would be looking like this. I think if it was Quentin Tarantino's,
I like the bare feet.
Yeah. Quentin Tarantino would be doing Star Trek like that. I think.
The music would be good though. Come on.
That'd be Tarantino Trek.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
You're not telling me though that you wouldn't watch it. Yeah, I'm watching it.
Words. Yeah, we'd all would. Yeah,
I might come out really angry, but I'm like, oh, okay, let's give this a go.
So apart from the puppet episode that we obviously know is coming at some point in season 4. What other prediction? Anyone got any predictions in terms of what else you think? What other directions they might head in? Do you think for the Strange New World season 4?
Well,
do you think the
Enterprise?
Sorry, mate. Do you think they're actually going to refit the Enterprise at some point to make it look more like the TOS Enterprise, or do you think they're going to just keep it as it is?
They'll keep it as
because they should do. I think they should.
Well,
oh well.
I just the way we can look at this is right. They love messing with genres.
Yeah.
So genres are left. What haven't they done? And I'm just saying,
they haven't done a Western episode.
Well, a Wild West. They're going to do a Wild West
Enterprise
episode.
did a Western. Yeah, Enterprise did a Western episode.
They've done a musical. They've done puppets. They've done a crossover with animation.
Cartoon. Oh no, they've done Lower Decks. This is like
they wanted to do a cartoon episode, and they couldn't. Either could they not get the funding or something? They couldn't get because Akiva Goldsman has already talked about this. They wanted to do an animated episode, but that would have
been best to do when they had Lower Decks in production. They would have. I mean, because they did the introduction and the epilogue for those old scientists in animated form, so they could have. That would have worked.
What about fantasy? Have they done anything really like a pure fantasy genre?
Well, they kind of did. What's the name? The Illyrian Kingdom one.
Yeah,
that's
See?
That was like medievally, wasn't it? And swords.
What did I say? Illyrian Kingdom.
Yeah,
Elysian Kingdom. Sorry.
Elysian. Yeah.
They've done rom-coms a lot.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure there's much left for them to mess with. They've done horror.
I think they have done. Done horror.
They've got to do a Predator movie. They haven't done sort of like have they done like a buddy cop movie? I think they have. They've done a murder mystery, even though it was awful. I'm not sure what was left for them to do.
And the gangster
Star Trek, that'd be nice.
Yes.
Steady on, Jay. Steady on.
I think they're mostly covered. I think you're right. I think they've done almost every genre that I can think of.
I did hear that there's going to be a little bit more number one stories in the next season, because I don't know what you guys felt, but obviously once we'd done the whole number one court case trial thing at the start of season 2, I kind of feel like number one maybe got sort of pushed to the side a little bit. Like there wasn't that many number one centric episodes this season, was there? What was the most amount of?
The actress has got another job though, isn't she? And I can't remember what it is. Has got a big part in something else.
Oh, is she? I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm gonna have to Google it. she's
Una
often
Chinrad,
not
isn't
been-
it?
So that's why they've not been able to sort of do a lot with her this
That
season.
we-
It's not been there.
I mean, I know
We've
that
had-
she had to make her hair that ridiculous hairstyle in what was it,
Oh,
episode 3 or
God.
something. That's
Why did they do that?
that bike helmet hairdo that she had or whatever.
Yeah, they've done an ID episode. So they've done. She should have sang "The Hills Are Alive" in that episode, and she didn't. It's a missed opportunity.
Yes.
Julie Andrews.
Where is she? Rebecca how do you ever say it?
Rebecca Romulan.
Romulan.
Romaine. She's in
Rebecca
Avengers. She's in Avengers.
Yeah, so I think
okay.
whether she had her hair done like she was playing Mystique or whatever. But then again, I think
she's in Doomsday.
yeah. So
Um,
That explain it.
I can't remember what
But-
character she plays.
Yes.
Mystique. She's Raven Mystique. She's going to be Mystique.
but yeah, I'm just trying. I mean, out of all the episodes, bring up your episode title list again, David. This season, I'm trying to think she obviously had a few moments in that episode when she was while Pike and Mbenga were on the planet, she was in command.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just
4.5 Vulcans. She had a little bit of a role in that.
no, but I think, I mean, obviously they gave her the quirky stuff with Doug in that episode. I almost think like she should have been one of the Vulcans. Can you imagine Rebecca Romaine as a Vulcan? I think she would have actually made a really good Vulcan.
Yeah,
for
I see that.
Yeah.
5.5 Vulcans.
Instead, they kind of had to give her this kind of quirky relationship with this ex partner in the form of Vulcan Doug.
And making her out to be a bit of a fiend in in the romance department. You know what I mean? That was very thinly veiled.
I didn't. Yeah, that went a weird direction.
Doug.
Yeah.
And did anybody really buy the fact that Patton Oswalt would be her type? Was that a little bit of a stretch? Or?
I think that was the joke, but it just
Different stroke,
Yeah.
different fight.
I think
It
this
just
is the
came
first
across as
thing I've
odd.
ever seen. I think this is the first thing I've ever seen Patton Oswalt in that I didn't like. Normally, I love it and everything.
Yeah.
And it's
He's
just like,
normally
I
very
want to
good
be
guy.
Star Trek. Okay. You're going to be a little annoying Vulcan. Okay.
Yes.
Go for it. Yeah, it was a bit
Called
odd.
Doug with a sister Susan and cousin
Pete
or whatever it was.
Pete the Vulcan. Yeah.
So do you think Doug will come back again next season or something, or do you think that's just like a one trip kind of thing?
I would
Never
be.
know.
I would be surprised. I'd be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised at anything this lot will do. And generally, they can do the whole thing with the puppets. Pike turns around and it's a puppet. I'm like going, oh my God, why are they doing this? But I'm not surprised. I'm not like,
Yeah.
this is amazing.
So you're beyond it. You're beyond kind of that
I'm just
perspective now. You just think,
beyond it.
whatever. Yeah.
I just think they're so obsessed with messing around with genres and trying to. I think you mentioned earlier.
What if they did an episode like Rascals, where they all got kids, or they all turned into kids, like that episode where Picard became.
Don't give them any ideas.
No.
So it was like they're all a bunch of 8-year-olds or whatever,
Yeah.
Just as a baby facing.
I
thing
would.
like
I
that.
don't know.
That's it.
No,
That'd be
We've
season
seen it,
5 now.
we've
That's
seen
it.
it.
What?
You've started.
That's
That's
what
it. Yeah.
Picard did that.
I'll just go. I'll delete that from the.
No, but we've seen Baby Picard. They've already done it. So was it
Yeah.
a transporter accident and Picard came back as like a 12-year-old annoying little git?
Yeah.
So we've already seen it. So yeah, they'll do that.
And it was Guinan and Rowe. Was it Picard,
Yeah.
Guinan and Rowe?
Yeah.
And it was
and
what's her name?
Keiko.
Keiko O'Brien.
Yeah.
Keiko O'Brien as
One of
well.
the most annoying
Yeah.
characters.
That's right. Yeah.
It's just but you've given them an idea. Thank you for that. I don't know what else there is left to do, but we're going to have a new villain in season 4 because we've pretty much done it now.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
I don't know.
The whole the Gorn are asleep now, and they've gone to sleep, and we won't
Yeah.
be seeing them for a while. Was a little bit.
They've gone to sleep. Yeah. They've gone
Yeah.
to sleep.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just like, oh
Very
God,
best
what
of
are we
both
going to
worlds.
do? We've made this species way too powerful. Let's best of both worlds it. We'll just put them to sleep.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about it.
That was. Sorry, Jay.
But I said the Gorn are done now, pretty much. You could bring them back, I suppose, but they're pretty much done. They had the Vesda, which had the possibility of being good, but they're done. So you're going to have some sort of new villain. And season 5, I think,
about-
is going to be running up to the original series.
I'll tell you who I'd like to see come back in some capacity: the Xindi from Enterprise, because we never saw them again after Enterprise. Now, I think that they were very.
For some reason, they just have never.
They've
like
never
it's
been
almost
mentioned.
like, yeah, it's like they want to completely ignore any kind of history of Star Trek that came from Enterprise.
That's what I'm thinking, and that's a shame because especially after watching Strange New Worlds, I do rate Enterprise much higher than I used to. I think it's actually a pretty solid series.
Yeah, but not only the Xindi, but also the Suliban. They never got seen again either. So
that's it. Yeah,
there's
this
a few.
Is why you shouldn't do prequels.
Yeah.
Well, no, but they keep going there. They keep going there. They keep going there, as we all know.
It just cocks everything up.
Or they go so far in the future, it's not recognizable. Go to the early 25th century. That's what everybody asks and never do.
I mean, as Stanley's just pointed out, isn't Cyborg supposed to be appearing? They set that up in
we
season
saw him,
1,
didn't we? We saw him briefly.
Yeah, well,
we saw his back.
He showed up in season 1, but we haven't returned to that. So that's a very good point.
They might play that into season 4 or 5 somehow. I mean,
they could still do it. They could still do it. Yeah.
They'll have to have one of the episodes where Kirk doesn't turn up for random reasons, like I forgot my keys. Has somebody got a credit card? I left a hat.
I left my socks behind.
Yeah.
And doesn't also
oh no, wait, no, you haven't met him. Forget that happened.
Speaking of brothers as well, doesn't Sam Kirk has to get married and go off and live on? Yeah, he has to get married and have. Does he have kids? I think he's
got.
Or?
I think he's got because don't we see his nephew, don't we, or something?
Yeah, so I think he has to go off, get married, have a kid, and live on that planet before those little flying floppy fish kill him or whatever it is on. What was it?
Floppy fish. What was that?
Well, they were like these little floppy fish that would like. They were like little floppy, like potato cakes or whatever.
Flying jellyfish.
What was it? Was it Assignment Earth? It was something Earth. Assignment Armageddon or something, or what was it?
Something Armageddon.
Yeah, it was something. Was it Taste? Not Taste of Armageddon. It was something Earth or something Armageddon. Or it was the one where.
Straight to Google.
I'm sure someone in the comments, will remind me of the name of the episode where Sam Kirk, aka William Shatner with a mustache, gets killed. Or whatever. We have to see that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
And we also have to. I mean, whether they bring in Layla Kalomi or whatever her name was, where Spock had that relationship with that girl who was on that colony or whatever, and they established, and he didn't he get spored in the face with with some flour or something, and then he went and lay on the grass and looked at the sky with her.
And then he got all then he got a bit horny, and then things happened. But also the other thing is, of course, Dr. Mbenga is going to have to be demoted. So that's something which I'm interested to see what he does. Because obviously McCoy will come in, but something's got to happen. I mean, I hope they acknowledge it, unless they just ignore it. But I would have thought that'd be an interesting story element to put in the show to sort of dovetail it into 2S.
I think they're setting up for that. I mean, like we've seen, like the Duck Ra topic that came up. It's like Pike's now protecting him a little bit. I think something's likely to happen where that's going to surface. It's probably going to bite someone in the bum. Maybe it's a case of either he gets demoted for it, or something happens and maybe he needs to leave the Enterprise for to go to Vulcan or somewhere else for a bit of downtime and that sort of thing before he returns to the Enterprise. Yeah, because you got to make way for Bones, and of course then there was the other doctors before that. So
sure, yeah.
We'll do the rounds quickly now. I'll start. Favorite episode of the season, episode 6, the Cell Who Ate Its Tail. I thought that was a fantastic episode.
Mine too.
Felt really like Star Trek. Even though it was a bottle episode, I think it was fantastic. The whole scavenger ship and everything, and the fact they had that twist at the end and everything. Loved that episode. Thought that was great. Worst episode of the season. In fact, I'll even go as far as saying it the worst episode of the entire series.
Space Adventure Hour.
Worlds would be This Is Starfleet, the documentary, but the Beto documentary episode was my worst episode of the season. David.
Look, I liked Through the Lens of Time. I thought that wasn't a bad episode. And I'd say probably Terrarium was my favourite, I would say. Worst episode, and look, I'm not going to say it was a completely crap episode, but the Space Adventure Hour one just probably didn't grab me. I think it was interesting in some respects in terms of it telling the 60s, creation of the show, but it just didn't grab me. But I think overall this season hasn't been quite on the par with previous seasons, I would say. That would be my call on that.
Mike?
I would say The Sailor Who Ate Its Tail was a very, very good episode. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was just fun. Had lots of, for once, we had some exterior shots of the Enterprise. We never get enough ship shots in these series, which I always get because I'm a big sort of ship guy. And I just think the whole episode was just great. My least favorite episode is A Space Adventure Hour. I think it's because there's so much of this detective story and this old sort of on the holodeck, and it just went on and on and on. And I don't know, it just didn't quite work for me. It just struck me as a bit odd. And why do they have holodecks 100 years before TNG, and it's exactly the same? And I think my problem is that the more I'm watching this, the more I'm getting sort of wound up with a lack of continuity with other Trek shows. And I know it's only TV, but that's what put me off that episode.
Yeah.
Jay?
I'm torn between Through the Lens of Time and Terrarium for my favourite. I really liked Through the Lens of Time because I felt like the first time it felt like a Star Trek episode for a while.
Yep. So
I really enjoyed that. I really didn't like the Sailor Who Ate Its Tail episode.
Really? Okay.
Stupid.
Really?
It's a lot of these episodes. If you stand them individually and don't think of them as Star Trek, they're entertaining, good episodes. But when you then remember they're supposed to be Star Trek, I find it a little irritating. The whole twist at the end, I just thought was kind of stupid because having this human race with a spaceship with no weapons on it take over and build all this massive planet-killing starship
with a big skull face and teeth, and
it was just a bit of the
murder ship. Yeah,
it just reminded me of a Packlet episode from Lower Decks as well, which I just thought, I've done this before.
It was very Packlet. The way they had made their ship was very Packlet.
Yeah, but my least favorite is probably a Space Adventure Hour. I actually found that episode borderline offensive. I actually came off that episode quite annoyed, and a friend of mine, Joshua, off CBR, sort of explained it to me afterwards. He said, no, they were, there's layers to this, and they were, they weren't making fun of Star Trek. They were saying this, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. And if I sit here and write an essay about the episode, I might know what you mean. But on the surface, I'm sorry, it just comes across as offensive. It comes across as Gene Roddenberry's a drunk. It comes across that, it feels like they're taking the mick out of Star Trek. It reminds me of She-Hulk when they took the mick out of comic book people that read comic books, and everybody on the internet is crazy. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe don't offend your core.
Bit too close to home.
Yeah.
And the whole Kirk at the end pouting, I'm just like, what the hell is going on now in this episode? I mean, seriously, what is going on? No, I just found the whole episode odd.
And
I found it odd, but I think I enjoyed it more than the What is Starfleet episode just bugged the hell out of me. I gave the holodeck episode a little bit more of a pass than that one.
Oh, the zombie episode was crap as well.
What was crap as well?
Zombie episode. The shuttle.
Oh, zombie episode, yeah.
Oh, zombie. Sorry, I couldn't hear that word. Yeah, zombie.
That was one of those Kurtzman Trek. They happen to Trek sometimes anyway. But you have we need this magic flower to save them. There's the only place on the galaxy. But this magic flower also makes zombies. And I'm like, what? Say that again.
Yeah, but I love The Walking Dead, so that's why I let that one pass.
Yeah. So where would you in terms of, would you say it seems like a consensus that season 3 wasn't necessarily everybody's favorite season so far, would you put it above season 1 or in terms of, would you put it like last in terms of seasons 1, 2, and 3, or would you put it second?
Last.
Oh, I'll put it last, I think.
Last, you reckon? So you reckon it's been the weakest season we've had so far?
I think so, really. Yeah, deep down.
Yeah.
Even though individually a lot of the episodes are really good, they're really funny. 4.5 Vulcans is very funny. I just can't.
It's just not
Not
it's
the
just something. It's
start.
not. Yeah, I feel
If
that
this was a
it's
Red
just not.
Dwarf episode, I'd be like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I feel it was the weakest season. I'm afraid. I liked it, but it just if you got to compare it, then that's where it falls for me.
It's like season 2 had the musical that I am obviously a massive fan of. We've already thinged this.
You might have mentioned it a few times. Yeah, of course.
But it also had, but it also had those old scientists, which might be my favourite episode of all of Kurtzman Trek. Full stop. I love that episode so much. So like I think they even each other out a little bit. So I think I marked 10 out of 10 for the first season, compared to the other 2 seasons. 7 out of 10 for 2. I only gave season 3 out of 10.
Oh wow!
I really thought that
it wasn't happening. It wasn't working.
It's just way too many.
I mean, you have to look at it from the point of view that they're taking big swings in episodes, but just because you're taking a big swing doesn't mean you're going to hit a home run. You hit a big swing and you might strike out.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
And I think they're taking too many big swings, and they're hoping they're going to hit the home run. And this season, I don't know whether they struck out more often than they hit home runs, I think.
And it's opinion as well. You're going to take some things from others. I mean, I watched the What is Starfleet, and I came away thinking, oh my God, that was really powerful. Mainly because of Anson Mount's portrayal at the end. And I came away thinking, oh God, that was really good acting. Uhura as well, her character, and her really powerful. But like you said, the episode really was kind of crap. But I finished watching it, and I was just like, oh God, that was something a bit special there for a second. You guys loved the Santo ate its tail. I couldn't stand. I really was quite irritated by that episode. So there is opinion, like you said. Though,
yeah, we're all different, aren't we?
Big swings.
Yeah.
You're going to love some things and really, have other things you're like, and we're going to have different opinions. It's going to be a bit divisive. Star Trek should be a little bit divisive, though. It should make you think.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it should.
But I've got to say, look, overall with Strange New Worlds, I've enjoyed it. I mean, I wouldn't say there's been any episodes that I'd say were complete shit. I'd say it does flow a bit up and down. If I was to compare that to Discovery, that wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, I got to say, and I think it's probably the same for
a lot of people feel the same. Yeah.
I think season 2 was really good, and then it led into this, and then that's continued on. And I think
I agree.
They just need
season 2.
Yeah, but they just need to. I just watch that. How many swings you take. Particularly now we've only got 16 episodes left. I mean, they've really got to play their cards very carefully.
It's not much left, is there?
There's not.
To wrap things
but
up.
they haven't said that. Like I've read an interview with Akiva Goldsman saying, "Oh, we've only got 16 episodes left, so we've really got to swing big." It's like, do you though? Do you need to swing big? How about just giving us some good, solid Star Trek episodes?
Yeah, which is all. That's all we want.
The tick boxes, and not waste the precious 16 on puppets or other things that really, let's focus on 16 really good Star Trek episodes, not trying to do weird shit that
quirky weird stuff.
And that's the disappointment, isn't it? Though we've got 10 episodes and half of them are quirky comedy parodies or something. And like, okay, individually those episodes are good. This is like the J.J. Abrams movies. I actually quite like those films, and if they weren't Star Trek, I would go, these are brilliant, but they are Star Trek. And that's the problem. Go, put some Star Trek in these damn Star Trek episodes. At least Discovery took being Star Trek seriously. At least it tried to be serious.
The more I'm seeing that, the more I'm realizing how its perspective is actually quite different and actually more respectful to Star Trek than when we first watched it and we all thought, oh, look at the Klingons and stuff. But if you go back, it does feel like it's trying to be more Star Trek and not just these wacky kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we
kind
don't
of,
have Burnham and Saru breaking into song and turning into puppets.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
I
a
think it
different
was taken
perspective.
more seriously.
Yeah, it was.
Crap characters. If the characters were better, if they'd have cast. Strange New Worlds is so beautifully cast with brilliant characters that we can really enjoy. If they'd have done as well, they're brilliant actors in Discovery, but that didn't quite have the
Didn't
characters.
work. No.
I think we knew the characters in Strange New Worlds after 5 episodes of season 1 more than we knew all of the entire bridge crew on Discovery for 5 seasons.
Yeah.
The chick with the robo thing, I still don't know who she was. The only character I can name is Michael Burnham because the name always went. They called her Michael, and Saru because I actually cared about Saru. Oh, and obviously Giorgio because she was the only character in there that I actually cared about. And then
I finally did remember. I finally remember the 2 bridge officers. It was Detmer and Owusu-kun was the other one. I do somehow remember those names. They were the 2 officers we saw. Yeah, but that's taken me 7 years to remember that.
But neither of those characters, I can't think of anything particularly about those characters after watching the show for 5 seasons that I feel like I feel I know, Laan and Ortegas way better.
Oh,
we
do. Yeah, we do.
After the even just watching the first season of Strange New Worlds than I knew any of those characters for the entire run of the show.
You want to know more about it now. I think in Discovery, you're just like, if that character dies, I really don't care.
Yeah,
at some point,
or something
might die. I'll cry my eyes out. I will be in bits.
I'm going to get cry when Lan dies, which she will die. I'll cry when she dies because I think she's great.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to that.
No. If she dies,
she might just go on
she will die.
Different starship somewhere.
Right, in 2 years' time, give this a playback, right? And I would have said, "Told you guys, told you she's going to die." Okay, 2027.
Mike is planning on killing
bets now.
Yes. Place your bets.
Yes. What was that, Jay? What did you say, Jay?
It sounds like Mike is planning on killing Christina Chong. I'm just saying.
Yes.
If we get through the dog to go to court, like, I'm going to be really...
God, no. This is just no, yeah. No, I'm not doing anything with her, no. But I just know that she's going to get killed off her character. So I just know it. Yeah. 3 years' time, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've gone a bit over time, so I might wrap it up there. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Jay, for coming along and being part of the stream today. Thanks so much, Jay. Again, extra thanks to you for filling in at the very last minute. And I hope Darren's doing all right in the hospital. And
get well soon, mate. Get well soon.
On the mend. Hope he's doing all right. And maybe have him on for the next stream if he's better by then, but I hope you're feeling better, mate. All the best. In terms of what we've got coming up soon, Dave has just finished working on a video which I'm editing on Spock. Yeah. So we've got a history of Spock video coming up,
particularly the Ethan Peck element, bridging between the the eras there.
Yeah, bridging the gaps between the Leonard Nimoy Spock and the Ethan Peck Spock and everything, which we've got coming up. I'll be talking about the next day or two a video on the first episode of the Star Trek Khan audio drama.
You want to do a Khan, like a big Khan? Do you feel like doing it?
Khan!
Sorry for the people sleeping.
Yeah, sorry for you.
And waking everyone up.
So you got that coming up the next couple of days. Have you guys got anything you want to talk about in terms of what you guys got coming up on your respective channels or anything? Just doing the usual.
Jay,
go first. Mike, in a couple of days, so we're going to be on thinking, aren't we? I forgot what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about this again, aren't we?
This is all over again.
Yeah, you're going to do exactly this again. So we're going to be reviewing Strange New Worlds next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast, and then we're going to review Alien Earth, which I'm really enjoying. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I think so.
I haven't started. I plan to start watching it very, very soon. I haven't got around to it yet.
It's well worth a watch.
Well worth it. Crap out of me.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Well, thanks everybody for coming along as well and being part of the comments and everything. Appreciate everybody viewing and commenting and everything in the chat feed. That's all been great. We'll be back, I guess, in 5 or 6 weeks or whatever, probably for another stream. But thanks everybody. Thanks Mike. Thanks Jay for coming along, and thanks everybody for joining in to the live show today. We'll see you next time.
Thanks everyone. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.